And I believe we're live, according to the nod from David. Hello, everyone. My name is Fiona. I run the What Am I Rolling podcast, which is a twice-monthly RPG one-shot podcast. But today it is not monthly. It is pretty much weekly. We are here to do quick start, a quick one-shot of Salvage Union, which hopefully most people have arrived here. It was very short notice putting together. So hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Just to say that in case you are like, what? Who are we? What do we do? Well, we're a group of friends who just like playing role-playing games together, and we like doing it at very short notice, especially when we're cross with what's going on with our lives. So enjoy that, folks, for the rest of the day. So just to start off, Salvage Union, in case you don't know, is a post-apocalyptic mech role-playing game powered by Quest, the RPG, which is originally the Adventurers Guild. But tonight my players will be playing as a ragtag group of mech pilots who make ends meet by salvaging scrap within this sort of post-apocalyptic wasteland. The Kickstarter for Salvage Union is live, in case you've been under a rock for the last couple of weeks, and it has successfully funded, and it is smashing all its stretch goals just now. So I'm sure there'll be a link in the chat at some point where
just
you can
now.
No, now look at that. I say it and it happens.
It's
if
like
I say
magic.
pizza, if I say pizza, it won't appear. But if I say a link to the Kickstarter, it will appear.
Well, you can try the pizza thing.
Oh, I could, but that
pizza.
No, didn't work. Sad. Sad and mad. But if you go onto the Kickstarter link, you can not only fund the Kickstarter, get your own copy when it comes out finally in print. You can also download the quick start rules, where you can see this scenario we're about to play tonight and have a look at it and have a look at those rules. And you can join the Discord, where you can go find some like-minded mech pilot friends and do some playtesting yourself. With all that out the way, next very important thing is boundaries. Hooray! Boundaries, our favorite thing in the world. Like most role-playing games, we like having fun, but we also like having safe fun. Yes, I'm putting the fun back into safe fun. That's how we're doing this. So because we like being proactive rather than reactive, we have instituted a group of safety tools. Essentially, if we'll do the X card for this, where essentially if at any point one of the players feels uncomfortable about what is happening in the scene, they can simply just cross their arms like this or send me a little X in chat, and we will just stop the scene and we'll either move forward or revise it to that element of whatever it is, it's out of the scene. At no point do the players have to justify why they want that element out of the scene. I might have to ask a clarifying question to see what that element was, but that is about it. Similarly, if you are on the stream or if you're watching this and there are times that you feel uncomfortable yourself, do take that break and do come back to us if you're ready or not. And yes, as I just put into the chat as well, in Salvage Union, they use something called stop sign, which is a different way of doing this, but it's essentially the same approach. So if at any point one of the players says stop or puts it in the chat, we'll stop and do the same thing. So with all that out of the way, I'd like to introduce all of my players. So if we're going around clockwise, we'll go with David. David, could you say what your name is of your pilot, sort of their pronouns, a little description about what they are, what mech they're using, and something that's interesting about them as an ability or something that their mech does. So take it away, David.
Yeah, cool. Sorry, I was just being distracted by the chat. I was like, there's people in the chat. I'm not used to this. I've got to do things. So yeah, hi, I'm David. I am playing Blackjack, the hacker. Their pronouns are they, them, I will say. And they run around in they run around with Mantis, the big, weird kind of, it looks like two oil barrels strapped onto legs, I guess, mech. I run around, hack things. Bugs are features. If you don't like it not working, tough. Basically, I have a robotic foot, and I have the most amazing modded out las pistol ever. And if you don't like it, you'll meet it.
Excellent. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Blackjack. We'll then move on to below Blackjack, I believe, is Ben. Ben, could you introduce your player? You are the player. Introduce your pilots, their pronouns, a little description about it, what mech they're using, and something interesting about the mech or themselves and its ability.
Absolutely, yeah. Hi everyone, I'm Ben. I'll be playing the Socrates, or the soldier class tonight, with my mech brawler. Socrates is a sort of wizened, older gentleman using he, him pronouns. And not dissimilar from Blackjack, is a veteran of surviving in these wonderful wastelands, and as such has a metallic jaw and ocular implant. Some of the fun things that I'm capable of is largely that I'm going to be responsible for keeping everyone here healthy, using my healing biofoam as and when that's needed. And unlike everyone else, Brawler, which is going to be represented by my, my Ford F50 for those who, want that experience, is anthropomorphic, which means I have hands and can use them. Mech punch.
Fantastic. Lovely to meet you, Socrates. Shooting off over to the left-hand side of the screen is Rob at the bottom. Rob, could you introduce your pilot, pronouns, quick description of who they are and the mech they're playing, and something special about them, please?
Yeah, so I'm playing Flea, he, him, scruffy bastard salvager with a bad beard and hasn't washed his hair, so I'm LARPing, basically. I've gone all out. Flea is piloting the jackhammer, which is an old mining mech that is now a salvager. It's got a big stinky arm to pick up all the bits of technology in the wastelands, but more importantly, it's got a big rotary sort of half drill, half buzzsaw, which I can smash into people and mechs. So if anyone gets a bit too close, watch out. And I've also got a nail gun, like off of Quake.
Oh, nice.
Nice and simple, off of Quake. Brilliant.
Off of Quake.
And then finally, our final player up on the top left-hand side of the thing is Viv. Viv, if you could introduce your pilot, their pronouns, a little description about them, what mech they're using, and something about the mech or themselves that is like, oh, that's really cool. Take it away.
Hello, my name is Vivian. I'm playing Commodore, pronouns for both she, her. She is a big, large woman. She is tall. She is fat. She's a brick shit house. She's having a great time. She's the hauler, which is a trucker, basically. She's piloting the Atlas, which is like a lorry with legs, I would say. And a railgun, because that's always fun. And that's Commodore.
That's Commodore. Thank you very much. So, as you can see, a proper ragtag group of mech pilots for this adventure, which I'm very, very excited to go. So, yes, Salvage Union is a mech game without the minis or without the tech. So, it's all theatre of the mind stuff. So, there'll be no fancy maps or anything that's evening. So, that makes it easy for me and probably easy for David, who's doing the stream. Some key terms we'll just go through just very quickly so that people have an idea of what we're doing. But, of course, as we're going throughout the stream, we come back to them, we'll say them over and over again. So there are no ability scores or modifiers in this game. It is just simply a D20 roll. So thankfully, no one has to remember too much on that. Thank you, Flea, for demonstrating what a D20 is. And thank you, Socrates, for that invisible D20. Fantastic news.
You mean I have to roll dice in this game?
Only one dice in this game.
Okay,
So
I'm going to
hopefully
leave
you've got
now.
that.
It all goes wrong as soon as I have to touch a dice.
I know, Blackjack. You're very infamous, I guess, for those rules. But you are a player in this, not the DM or the mediator, as it is called in this game. So
it's probably going to go even worse then.
Probably. But we can live in hope. We can live in hope. So in terms, as you can tell, the players are playing both the pilots and their mechs. So they have 3 different stats for each of them. For the mechs, you have something called structure points, which is essentially how much damage your mech can take. There is also something called heat, which is generated each time you sort of push your mech or use certain abilities. If this goes too high, your mech's reactor could potentially overload, causing your mech to shut down at key moments or lose systems or destroy modules or even just self-destruct itself. Let's hope that never happens. The max damage, the max heat you can ever have is 10, and we'll go into that if should that ever happen. Hopefully
Challenge accepted.
Oh no. You also have something called energy points, and which the players can use to activate certain mech abilities, and these can vary depending on which mech our players have. Looking at the pilots, you have, of course, hit points, which represent how tough your pilot is and a measure of their health. They also have something called stress, which is very similar to heat. So they get this every time they push their pilot or they use certain equipment or they're affected by other outside factors. If this stress level goes too high, much like in real life, you will freeze in a sort of fight or flight situation, potentially causing you to make bad decisions. Hooray! Even in dystopian future, you'll still get stressed. Who knew? The max stress for any pilot is 10, and again, we'll go through that as well, should that ever happen. And instead of energy points, you have something called ability points, so which you can use to access any sort of abilities and sort of use those as a pilot. And the default ability points you get is 5. So as I sort of mentioned, the core mechanic of this game is a d20. So whenever a player declares an action and there is some sort of uncertain or risky or potentially interesting outcome, I'll ask you to roll the d20. On a 20, you've absolutely nailed it. You've overcome the odds. You've made an outstanding success. Everyone's very, very impressed. And you get an additional bonus of your choice to this. If you're in combat, your damage is doubled. On an 11 to 19, it's just a success. You did it. You did the thing. We're all very surprised, but we're all pleased that you got there. Damage is dealt as normal in combat, but hey, you succeeded. On a 6 to 10, it is a tough choice. You barely just got out there. You just hanging on for the loose of your threads. So you succeed, but I will give you a choice to take 1 or 2 sort of consequences, and you, the player, gets to decide which of those consequences it is. In combat, you manage to hit whatever your target is, but something goes wrong with your mech, essentially, or with you. Depends on how you're fighting. A 2 to 5 is failure. So you fail to do what you were attempting to do, and you face a consequence of my choosing, which is super fun. I've made a list and everything. In combat, that means you just miss the target. And then finally, you have, if you roll a 1, a natural 1, there's something called a cascade failure. You failed, and something has gone terribly wrong. You suffer a severe consequence of my choice. And in combat means you've missed the target and something has gone wrong. Essentially, you need to get above a 6 or higher in order to succeed at something. And that's
It's not a
basically it.
failure, it's a feature.
Right. Very true, very true. The final little thing I want to say before we go on, at any point during a turn, so once per turn, essentially, players can choose whether they want to push their mech or their pilot, I read. So essentially, if you don't like the result, you can choose to push your mech or something to do it again and do the reroll and take the second result. However, should you do that, you may gain some heat. Well, sorry, you will gain some heat, or you'll gain some stress depending on who you're pushing. And then you'll do a d20 roll on a table to see, do you freeze, do you get stressed, etc. on that. So that is an option to you. So if at any point you're like, I rolled really lowly, but I could push it and make a choice. Essentially, if you've ever played Call of Cthulhu, it's that sort of mechanic as well, that if you fail hard, but at the same time, if you push, you might get where you need to go. And with that, that's all I can say for now. There are obviously other ways of sort of downtime, which we might not get to in this episode. There's also ways to vent heat and to relieve stress. But again, we'll come to that should that arise. So, players, my pilots, are you ready? Are you ready to play? Are you ready to mech?
Of course.
10
Let's
4.
go. Let's party.
Let's go. Okay, so today we are playing the quick start scenario of the downing of the, and I'm going to say this wrong, I've been practicing it all day, but the Atychos, the downing of the Atychos we're playing. So, players, you have detected a crashed Corpo air transport ship belonging to the Eventist Industries, a corporation that specializes in experimental heavy mechs and weaponry. This means that the transport is likely to be holding some quality salvage. The transport has crashed in amidst a ruined city once known as Hope Falls. Your Union crawler, where you're all sort of based, has sort of deployed itself at the edge of this area for safety, and you're getting ready in your mechs to range out and get yourself some salvage. You do know, you all know each other, you all worked together before on this. You have that you're not alone when you're going out to get salvage. There are going to be many interested parties to get the salvage, and you need to get there fast. You can expect like a corpo retrieval team going to be en route, and you know that in the area there are going to be wastelanders who will want to be after whatever they can find. You receive a data map, which I will put in the Discord chat shortly so people can see where we're going, which sort of gives you some basic intel. You have to range out. So your mission essentially is to range out, get to Hope Falls, salvage what you can from this fallen ship, and then make it back to your Union crawler for safety. And I will put that in the chat just now. I guess before we start, what would you folks be doing as you're sort of getting ready to go out? We'll go with the opposite way around. So Blackjack, well, as you're sort of making your way, getting ready to stuff, what sort of Blackjack doing to get ready to go salvage?
I've got a pre-war, a little handheld thing It's about this big, and I'm
Oh, yeah?
sat there playing something on it. There's like lots of bright colors flashing along.
Yeah.
Every now and then I kind of make a little squeal as I go, "Ooh, candy!" as they all get crushed. I'm sat there playing basically Candy Crush on an old handheld console that I've managed to salvage. It's the only thing that I can get to work on it, but
I
it
like the
pleases
idea
me.
though you've had to have various different modded
Oh yeah,
inputs to charge it.
it's this big, but the extras around it, it's actually about the size of an actual laptop with the extra
The
kind of
entire
power.
arm of one of your mechs is just sat,
It's-
disconnected, and you're leaning against it to power this.
It's just the finger plugged in.
And I'm actually not like what I've actually done is I've got a separate controller where I'm controlling the mech itself to touch the screen.
And
There's a
that's how
lot
cool
of cracked
Blackjack
screen
is.
on it.
Fantastic, good to know. What about you, Commodore? What are you doing to get ready to go out and salvage?
I have to be in the right mood to salvage. I needed to relax.
Yeah.
Got one of those old radios. People tend to know all kinds of stuff. I have my own show every now and again. I try and interview the others. They're generally not up for it. But you need to relax. You need to stay calm. And I've kept the Atlas. Atlas is an Avantis mech itself. And so I'm like, I know that stuff. I've taken this apart and put it back together again 100 times. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
What kind of music do you play on your radio then?
Exclusively bluegrass.
Excellent.
It's the only post-apocalyptic music.
Yeah,
exactly.
Lots of banjos.
I do believe that per Rob's background here, that we can argue that heavy rock and death metal is still very much present in the post-apocalyptic wasteland, and we know this.
And as a
Hey,
result,
hey!
the
Don't
Commodore...
forget the cyber. Don't forget the cyber.
Well, Flea, what are you doing to get ready to go out and salvage?
Flea is jazzed for this. This is what Flea does. When Flea gets excited, Flea can refer to themselves in the third person occasionally. But this is what Flea does. Flea goes out, they salvage, they get the best bits. So Flea is currently just taking off every bit of his mech and then putting it back on, fixing stuff that's broken, breaking things that are fixed, and then fixing those again. Occasionally disappearing out of everyone else's eye view for a minute, and then a bit appears on Flea's mech that you're sure was part of your mech a minute ago. But there you go. It just happens. And then also pointing out to Blackjack that despite the apocalypse, the cash shop still does work on Candy Crush. So you can always still know. That's the one
I
thing
turn around and say,
aside.
"That's why you're poor all the time and nicking
Yeah.
other people's stuff, isn't it?"
But yeah,
What are microtransactions? Yeah.
Yeah, get it. They've survived. Them and NFTs have survived for some bizarre reasons.
Oh no!
no!
Truly is a post-apocalyptic
Hey, to
wasteland.
be fair, you cannot overlook our
Look! Have you
one
seen
true
this
God
new
and
one I've
saviour.
collected? I've collected a new one.
Come back.
I
yeah,
paid a lot of
just-
money for this. No one's going to copy it.
Just buzzing round the hangar like a proverbial flea.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And Socrates, what are you doing to get ready to go out and salvage on this mission?
Chasing Flea.
Give that back. That's
Yeah.
mine.
I genuinely believe that Socrates spends more than half of his time chasing Flea to get the missile pods back that they have nicked from Brawler's shoulder. Just like, no, that goes, no, bring it back. No, I think
They're useful. You can put them on the back of your legs, go a bit faster.
they're even more useful for dealing with bio-titans and wasters. I think Socrates is one of these sort of consummate professional style people that waits until the aftermath of the run to decompress. So right now it's all business. It's the last minute checks. It's making sure gun, knife, and whatever is where it's meant to be, filled up with ammo, filled up with fuel. Socrates is the person doing the checks. They're the one with the checklist, and they're making sure that everyone has everything right, ready, and good to go. And then when they come back, that's when Socrates lets themselves just decompress. Once he's got these people, that's when he'll drink the moonshine.
Fantastic.
And
Great.
can
So
we have our first dice roll of the game, actually? I have something I want to do.
please narrate what you would like to do.
So as Flea is buzzing around and randomly trying to steal things, I noticed that Flea is trying to half-inch something off of Mantis. I've booby-trapped pretty much every part of Mantis.
Oh dear.
So I want to sit there, small, kind of just continue playing Candy Crush as it is. Wait for Flea to attach it to their mech and activate a small little booby trap that will just basically freeze the leg, one of the legs, and it just won't work.
That sounds good. So roll that d20 and let us know what you get.
Well, this is going to go well.
Yeah.
I got 4.
A 4.
You made it work better. How did you make it work better?
Yeah, wow, this is much better.
So
I told you.
So a 4
It's
is
a
failure.
feature.
Yeah. 4 is a failure. So unfortunately, it's like brilliant, great, and it works even better than before. And you're just like, damn. It's like,
Candy Crush ruined my life. Just needed
So-
those pineapples.
Oh, it's nice that you're working. We're having more of a team player attitude. Yeah, that's
Yes,
great.
yes,
We're
that's
helping each
exactly
other
what
out.
I planned. I
That's
planned it to make it better. I know how sometimes you have issues with your mech, so I thought I'd help you this time. Honestly, like nothing bad was going to happen ever. It's perfectly fine.
Ah,
with those famous
That's
words of
lovely.
nothing could possibly go wrong, we're going to look towards the data map, and obviously we don't have this on stream. I've given it in the chat for our players. So
I could try and share it, but that would just
let's not make it any more difficult than it has to be, David. And also, hey, if you really want to see what the map is that they're looking at, you could download the quick start guide on the Kickstarter, which has it there at the back. So you can
It's a
go
really
and do
cool
that
map.
if you'd like. It's a very cool map. So yes, so maybe you get sort of bleep as the your downloads are finally finished, and you get sort of a topical sort of down map showing the area around you. That's 0.001 is the crawler itself. So this is where you are currently based, and you can see like 4 life signs going blip blip over there, and you can see across from you, you have sort of 2 options. I'll say that again. You see in the far distance, sort of at the bottom left, there's a word that says Hope Falls. You can see various sort of like buildings and burnt out sort of holes and stuff, and you know that's where the ship, the Atychos, landed essentially. To get there, though, the terrain itself, as you can, a little bit like the stuff behind me, it is desert-like, it is hot, but you can see there's sort of 2 paths to it, essentially. You see to the right of you, there is something called the Mountain Pass, which is huge, sort of great big sort of hills of sand, sort of like, and crevices and rock, very rocky, so it would take your time to get there, compared to the arid desert, which is off to the left of you, a huge flat expanse, but is known for overheating mechs, and you can see, even just looking out of the crawler just now, you can see there are broken bits of mech out there already, suffering from great heat exhaustion, essentially. Both these paths sort of come onto a very wide sort of stretch known as the highway, and again, it's far enough so you can see it. You can see it's almost like one of those sort of also like Planet of the Apes style, but it's a huge sort of, think of the Golden Gate Bridge essentially, and you can see piles up of various vehicles and mechs that sort of just over there, creating a whole sort of blockade essentially, so blocking off anything coming straight towards it essentially.
What time of day is it at the moment?
It's really early in the morning, because looking at the data map itself, it gives you, like a sat-nav, estimated time of arrivals. For every part in this map, you think it will take 1 hour to go across to go across each of these parts. If you have a light mech, you can make it in half the time, because you're just skittering across essentially. Finally, though, there is another blip that comes up, a point of interest, a little bit off the highway. There's something called Scrapper's Bluff, and you know this as your sort of Union rep, your crawler rep will inform you that this is a settlement of wastelanders. There was another Union crawler that sort of settled here, and there are a couple people there should you wish to have more assistance and stuff. Unfortunately, they're sending you out as sort of an advance guard. No one else is available. They're all having downtime from previous salvage hauls, but they trust you as the top team for this job. So, team, you have this map in front of you. You can see there's 2 ways towards the highway, and then the highway itself would lead onto Hope Falls. What is your
Highway
plan? What are you thinking
to
about?
the danger zone.
That's playing on Commodore's radio. But what are you thinking when you're looking at this map? What is your plan as a group?
I mean, the mountain pass looks like you're almost coming face to face with the Scrapper's Bluff, which makes sense, which is probably, while safer, not heat, is going to get us in trouble. The Rad Desert, if we reckon we've done enough work on our mechs, we should be okay if we go early enough and just lead off. We could go as fast as we can across it. Flea would vote for the Rad Desert.
Out of character speaking, what's the weight class of everyone's mechs? I'm medium.
Light.
Heavy. Big.
I'll see you all in Hope Falls then.
Medium.
Medium. So we've literally got a mix here between the difficulty I imagine for the heavy mech might be in the sand, is that it's a loose topographical thing, so that's gonna, that will be harder for you to deal with. But the mountain pass is also going to be a risk of, if it's a narrow space and heavy mech, how do we deal with it?
Go get through it. It'll all be fine. My mech is specially dealt to deal with extra heat.
Okay.
So there's a vote for the desert from Commodore.
Commodore, you're going to be hauling whatever we find, right? So really, it's going to be.
I've got a huge ass truck bed in the back.
Yeah,
so.
I think you've got the casting vote, to be honest, because if we can't get your mech, there's no point getting there if we can't load it up.
Yeah, that's true.
I love the idea Commodore's like, this baby, slap, slap. This can contain all of the stuff.
It can fit so much heat.
look at this salvage. What about you, Blackjack? What are you thinking?
I'm just looking at what I've got. I'm happy just to kind of run around and scout around everyone and follow around. I can feign death, so I don't really mind if someone wants to maybe attack me when I'm not near anyone. I'll just feign death. So, or stop them from moving and attacking me.
Is anyone's locomotion system expressly not designed for dealing with a type of environment?
Mine's most terrain. Most terrain adaptable.
Same.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yes,
Commodore, yours too?
Mine doesn't mention terrain. It's mostly just I am very good at carrying a lot of stuff.
Then I vote for the desert as well. Let's go fast and through it and
in and
hope
out.
that a situation of in and out. We can always take the slower route back through the mountains when we're not hauling stuff. But whilst we're unloaded, let's take the fast option here.
We want to get there as soon as possible, get in the way before anyone else shows up.
Exactly.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep. Let's go through the radiation desert. Radiation is fine. Doesn't do anything to anybody or anything.
We won't live long enough for it to affect us. Like smoking.
I do need a new foot. I have lost one, so hopefully it will grow back.
Your match on the other one. Yeah. Easy enough. So you've all, as a team, sort of go out. Out of interest, what is the formation? Are you all going in a line, or are you all following each other? Because I want to see the cinematic of you, almost like Lord of the Rings style, going over the mountain but across the desert. So who's going first, essentially?
I think we had the volunteer from the fast light one.
Oh. So Blackjack,
yes,
are you okay
I was like, I've got this. I'm fine. I will go scout ahead and make sure that the way is clear. If you see me crawling on the ground like a dead beetle, then run.
Yeah.
Towards you or away from you?
Well, you, Socrates, you can run towards me because you want to punch things. Everybody else, probably away, meandering.
So I know that Salvage Union uses like range bands. If we keep you within close range, which is a good few strides away, then we've got that gap between you, and the three of us can all stay within engaged distance, where we're literally as side to side as a mech can be. Obviously there's going to be but we need to protect Commodore, and I've got a laser gun, but nothing huge.
I've got a laser, but I've also got comms module, which allows me to communicate to everybody at far range.
Well, I have a 30mm auto cannon, So how about I take next? I also have missile pods, which have long range. So if I take next, then I can shoot within close distance, but also shoot within long distance in case anything comes from behind us really easily. And additionally, I have the ability to pinpoint and multi-target, so I can aim in multiple locations if I'm split either way. And if we have the heavy pincered between myself and Flea, so if Commodore goes in the middle because you're a heavier, slower mech in that regard, and probably not as
I'd say
Oh
like
no, I am bigger. I have armor. I'm very good at taking hits. Is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing. I also have a rail gun and
Never
cluster
mind.
mines.
So it's very kind of you folks, but excuse me.
You know,
You can protect me,
Well,
but no,
it's
no,
not
no.
necessary.
Can we just hitch a lift? Can we just
Yeah.
get on the back of Commodore?
I have a lot of space. There's space back there.
Yeah, hop on in. But yeah, it's like you will all be going at the same speed because most of you are sort of medium and the same with heavy. It's just that to get across quickly, for example, Blackjack can get there much quicker than you folks can. That's literally the only difference really
Okay.
between sort of light and medium.
I'll
sort of
be
mechs.
scouting around ahead of them, just being the scout because using the theatre of the mind idea of being the light mech because we don't have a scout.
No, they're off having I don't know, tea and biscuits. I don't know.
No, Flea stole part of their mech.
Yeah. It cuts back to them and there's just this like chassis with no legs.
It's built up on bricks.
I was meant to be going out with you guys, but
Yeah.
what the?
Bye.
Damn you,
Flea's mech's
Flea!
got 2 legs painted in camo that say Scout on the side of them.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so head on off.
Yeah.
I would like everyone for me to roll a d20 and tell me what we got. Well, this is more of a group check per to say.
I'm
So
going
just
to
let me
change
know.
dice.
Yeah, let me know.
13.
Aha.
17.
6.
Success. Just a tough choice. That's fine. Blackjack. 2. Oh.
And I changed
Oh,
dice.
dear. Yeah, change dice now. As you can.
No, that I
You
did
are
change dice
rolling.
from the other one. I've got
Oh,
I've got an entire
D20.
box of them here because I know how
Not
bad
like a
this is
D20,
going to go.
but like a D4, right? Just check it. It is the right dice. It's one of these. One of these ones.
You mean this that kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just checking, like a 4 and a 2.
I think we need to get David to shake hands with Will Wheaton and exchange dice, because if we can manage this, the spell
The world
will,
will
be broken,
explode.
Wheaton's curse will be removed, and we will all live in a world where Wheaton's law is universal.
Absolutely. So, you do make it across the desert. It is hard going. The sun is beating down on you. Everyone will take 1 point of structure damage as the radiation is hurting your mechs, so to speak, and your heat maximum goes down by 2. It is incredibly hot, and so your systems are overloaded. So do keep that in mind. Commodore, I'm going to give you a choice. You will get there, absolutely, but your tough choice is interesting. I would like you to either, on your next sort of roll, if it should come up in combat, so make a note of this, you can either deal half damage or hurt yourself in that, essentially. As your systems, they're getting quite hot, and so you need some time just to cool it down and tweak it. So next time we're in combat, that is going to be your sort of downside to that. So we'll come back to that. Actually, no, choose now, and we can do it.
I'll hurt myself. I have plenty of points.
You're like,
I'll be
all
fine.
right, fine. You're like, okay, and David.
Get the job
Okay.
done.
Blackjack, it is very hot in your thing. I'd like you to take 2 stress as you're busy mopping your brow and you're trying not to get your electrics in anything. And with that 2 stress, can you also roll for me a d20 roll?
You want me to roll another dice?
I do want you to roll another dice, please.
Then you one way this can go. Oh no, it went up. I got a 7 this time.
You got a 7. Ooh, that's slightly higher.
I
Okay,
can
so
keep
this
that
would,
dice.
You can keep that desk. So this is on the stress load table. So every time you get stress, you have to roll on it and see what you get. You attemptly freeze in panic as you try to regain your composure. You cannot act or move on this turn. So I guess what happens is as you're sort of moving across, you're really struggling. You're like, oh God, I can't do it, whatever. And you slow down quite significantly. So you're not scouting ahead. And so you get no bonuses per se whilst looking around for stuff. So you sort of actually, instead of scouting ahead, you're sort of in line with the others. You're
I blame
trying to
Flea.
keep up.
Flea stole my heat capacitor that worked the fan.
And I like, again, because you all have comms modules as well. So I like the idea there's a constant ongoing, like, this is all your fault.
Flea, why did you have to steal that bit? You've broken me. It's your fault. Everything is going wrong again. Why?
Just like Jack, you're breaking up. I'm sorry, my fan is too loud. Just 1 second, and I turned down my big fan that's blowing with little bits of paper. Like that. It's like, okay, I can hear you now. Are you okay?
I hate you so much.
I think the ice machine's packing up on mine.
Comms channels are
Hopefully we'll
for
find one.
official reports only, people. Keep your eyes peeled. Come on.
I'm sorry, you're all breaking up, and then I just put the most awful feedback through the comm set.
Oh, I love this song.
I can't believe
This is-
Ministry survived.
This is post-radiated cockroach, right?
I think it's called Apoctoma Berserk.
So this ongoing commentary, and as the camera sort of moves away from this sort of four mechs making its way through the desert, you eventually arrive after an hour or two towards the highway itself. And you can see, it's like I said, it's a portion of this sort of ruined highway that sort of leads towards the city itself. And it's sort of, you can see bits of it are unstable, and there's junked vehicles everywhere. You do manage to easily sort of make your way up onto the highway itself. Maybe people who have arms are able to help other mechs up, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And you sort of shake it off. As you sort of turn to look to where the Hope Falls is, you can see coming towards you, again, it's super obvious if you're in a mech, you see other mechs very close by. You see what you recognize to be a merchant caravan with sort of 4 heavy transport mule mechs trying to navigate its way through the highway, but it's sort of struggling a bit because there's way too many cars and bits. The one on the front looks like to be another standard light mech, sort of taking around, and all of your radios, the sort of communications running, and I said, "Oh, hello, hi, so sorry, we just, we saw you land. You're from the Union crawler 279. Hello, my name is Tiffany. We're just trying to make our way through. I hope that's okay. We're just trying to make our way through. Is that all right?"
Yeah, that's Roger, Tiffany. Where are you headed?
We're just heading out. Essentially, there's over a couple of ways away. There's a waste settlement. We're just passing through there and then moving on to there. We want no trouble at all. You're probably here for the ship, right? Didn't touch it, didn't see it. We're just trying to.
Do you have any
go by.
fans?
Fans? Maybe in the final cart. We don't know. It's all bits and pieces around here.
You see, Flea has offered to buy me a new fan.
Right.
Sorry, there was a break up there on the comms. I didn't pick that up.
Don't worry about it, Flea. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Do you have any?
I'm not that aware. I mean, if you folks would kindly help, like, we don't have any way to sort of move things out of the way. So if you're able to accommodate us, we'll happily give you something.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure we
Commodore.
can help.
Sounds... Hey.
I've got a salvage arm. I can start shifting stuff.
Yeah, I've got anthropomorphic arms. If Commodore Blackjack, you on observation to keep eyes peeled, and then Flea, you and I will help move things out of the way.
Yeah, that sounds good. And I'm going to keep a good eye out for any good scrap in these things that have been wrecked already. I'm sure they've been picked clean, but you never know.
Fabulous.
I'll have Brawler sling the sort of this massive autocannon over the shoulder. So the gun is there, ready, easily drawn, and just begin sort of like stomping over and like picking or pushing, flipping cars out of the way to create a path between everything.
Fantastic. Excellent. Okay, so it sounds like a D20 roll for everyone then. So obviously Socrates and Flea, you're trying to move stuff out of the way, and Commodore and Blackjack, you're sort of having a look out, just keeping a lookout, make sure nothing bad happens.
15.
I kind of want to play Candy Crush again.
Success.
13.
Success.
19.
Oh, success.
A 16. I am definitely keeping this dice.
Hey!
Congratulations, she says. So yeah, easy enough, Flea and Socrates. You're used to moving stuff out, and you are sort of like the ones with the arms. So you're easy enough to move stuff out the way. Maybe it's a cool flip you do that you sort of pile up a couple on the same, like one on top of the other, and you're like, yeah, very cool. Moving stuff out. And so you manage to make a good, decent headway. But Commodore and Blackjack, in the distance, sort of just behind the caravan, it's starting to make its way through. You can see sort of popping out of getting onto the highway itself 4 other mechs. And there's no such thing as a bad mech, right? But these ones look like bad mechs. They're all, they've got black on. One has a skull and crossbows on, which is slightly bigger than the other 3.
And Zakuts.
Exactly. And it's sort of making its way. And on the comms, you hear, woohoo! Hi, boys. We look like we've got a couple of caravans and some Muppets. Hey, hand them over and you won't have any problem from us. Tex is ready to take on everything you want.
How many are there?
Hey, Commodore, haven't you got a song on there? Something like an old band, Akadaka, something about a highway and things.
Would you, Fiona, are these people, would you say they're in far range?
They are, they're far, because they're behind. Basically, the caravan is sort of close to you guys, and then behind it is sort of they're coming up essentially, and they're sort of gearing up. Like if a mech could crack its neck, it would.
Cool. I would like to shoot them with my railgun.
I would like to try and take control of one of them.
Excellent. Well, folks, it sounds like we're going into combat.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
We negotiate.
Absolutely. So, for those people at home, combat here is really, really easy. Essentially, on each person's turn, they just take an action or move, or they can move twice and no action, and that's pretty much it. It's also called Popcorn Initiative, where basically I start, I will choose someone based on the narrative to start the combat, and then once they've done their turn, they choose somebody else. Now, I know what you're thinking. This could easily lead to all the players picking themselves and then going over to me as the mediator, and you'd be right. However, at the start of the turn, at the end of that turn, whoever's next will get another go. Essentially, they could always snake back and forth. So that's the only thing I'd say to the team there. Just be mindful of picking yourself all to go first, and then the others to go first. But I think because Commodore, you're just like, fuck it. Who are these people? How dare they come in? You can choose to go first. So yes, so they are sort of in far range just now. They're sort of cracking up. You can see the sort of various guns and stuff ready to go. What are you doing?
Shoot them with my railgun.
Excellent. So roll your d20.
Very good. This naturally generates 1 heat when fired. So I'm going to take that. And then also, because of that thingy before, I need to take some damage as well.
Excellent. And before you do, which one are you shooting at? Are you shooting at the sort of the black one with skull and crossbows, or one of the smaller ones?
Skull and crossbones.
I thought so. Just thought I'd check though. Thought I'd check. Okay, so yeah. So you rolled your d20.
Tex clearly made a mistake here, which was he attracted attention to himself and then painted a target for us to aim at.
I got a 12.
A 12. That is a success. So what's the damage for that?
5 SP.
5 SP. Oh.
This is, I would say this is, the comment has just been sort of on point, just sort of sitting, the gun is sort of right next to the sort of pilot's cabin. I'm just sort of been there and I just sort of look out. I hear this on the radio. I'm like, what? Railgun. Magnetically propelled ballistic weapon that fires a large caliber, high velocity projectile at extreme range, dealing devastating damage on impact.
Very devastating.
Kaboom.
Is this one of these cool guns that doesn't make a noise? It's like that bit in Last Jedi where the ship goes through the other ships and it's just like a silent kill kind of
Spoilers, I've not seen it yet.
I am
technically, I think they make quite a lot of noise. Because it's a magnetic propulsion system. So either you're charging and then releasing the energy in that regard, or you're literally running 2 massive magnets up and firing it off.
It goes thwomp.
It goes thwomp, yeah.
And then boom.
So Commodore, yes, you easily hit, but what was it for the heat stuff? You take 1 heat.
I took 1 heat because it draws on the energy of the mech's reactor to fire, generating heat.
Fantastic. Can you roll for me a d20? So every time you take heat, you have to roll a d20 and see what you get on the table.
A 6.
6. Oof, that is something. Let me scroll to the page. I didn't have it up. Stupidly, I didn't have it up because I didn't assume you'd shoot straight away. That was silly of me, wasn't it? Okay, a 6. Oh, you have a module overload. One of your modules has overloaded and is destroyed. This is chosen by me, the mediator.
Fiona, that's only when you hit your full heat.
Oh,
That's a overload. That's reactor overload. You just gain heat until you hit the overload.
you are correct. I am so sorry. Ignore what I just
So
said.
you want a reactor overload, do you?
That is right. So yes, so let's move that back. So yes, so Commodore, you see your heat sort of go up and a bit. And you're like, gotta be careful. But yes, you have 1 heat currently. Would you like to move closer or move away? What is your plan?
I'm gonna stay out here. Stay out here. I would say I do need to take some damage because of my difficult choice from crossing the thing.
Fantastic. Please do that then. So you
How
take
much?
you take 2 damage.
Oh, is that to structure or HP?
We're going to say to your structure for this one because you were so before it was moving across the desert on that front. So yes. So great. So who would you like to go next in the initiative?
The
Commodore? You've
chat
got
has
your
just
friends.
confirmed for us you you don't roll on the table every time you take heat. You equal to or under heat for a reactor overload check.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, chat. So yes. So Commodore, where would you like to? Who would you like to go next in the initiative? Would you like one of the enemies to go, or would you like one of your friends to go?
I can cause a reactor overload. I
That's
can literally just cause a reactor overload if we want to just stop one of them.
Do you want to take out the little guy?
I was
One of
thinking the
them
bad
little
guy, so then they
guys?
can't run away.
That's enough.
Alternatively,
Don't bother picking me. I'm short range, so.
Alternatively,
Cool.
my missile pods hits one target, but then an additional point of damage to every other target within melee range of the target.
If
and
I
they're
stop the
all
guy at the
right
back,
next to each other.
yeah. If I stop the
What
guy at the back,
range?
that'll stop the other one moving around. So you hit the one in the middle, and then we go boom.
Mm-hmm.
What range is your missiles?
Long. So if I spend my action moving forwards, we'll go from far to long
Yeah.
range.
I'm at far range, so I can just sit here and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to see what they're gonna do, so we get that extra point
Yeah.
Yeah.
as part of it. So let's hop on over. Let's hop on over to the other side.
Yeah. That's a good call.
Hop
So-
on
See what-
over
see
to
what
the
they do
other
about that.
side.
So,
This is just gonna be
great. So yeah. So Tech will go next. After almost being obliterated in round 1.
Like, oh shit!
He's like, I need to make some life choices. So what Tech will do, he will use double movement and will just start rushing straight towards you. So he closes the gap to come to close range, essentially. But that's all he can do in his turn. I'm then going to pick one of the other mechs to come next. This one is a lighter mech. It starts to sort of skitter about and then start to move forward at a very fast pace. And it's going to go straight towards, let's just roll a d4. We'll see who's on it.
It's worth noting that in positioning wise, Socrates and Flea would be at the front, and Blackjack and Commodore would be at the back
Because we're helping with the.
because they were helping move the things on the road.
Perfect. Great. Well, then I rolled an even, so we'll go for Socrates. This mech, sorry, is going to come up to you, and it's going to make an attack at close range. It's going to roll for its laser. You can see it sort of power up, and it doesn't make a noise because lasers don't make noises. And it sort of shoots towards you.
They do. They go pew pew.
It's pew pew. It rolled a 7.
And when
so
it misses,
gets
it goes Barney McGrew.
It does not. I'm going to spend an action point to counterattack. So when an enemy within engaged range, which I believe this now is, rolls a 6 to 10 on an attack against you, I deflect their attack and take no damage.
Amazing, easy enough. So this creature almost slides in, and you can see the lasers powering up, and it sort of hits off your carapace, and you just don't feel anything. You're like, ha, idiots! Like maybe you shake off yourself.
I sort of grab the laser thing and just tilt it slightly as it's about to shoot. It shoots over the shoulder instead of hitting.
Very cool, very cool.
Wait,
Well, then
watch where you're
Socrates,
pointing that thing.
well, then Socrates, I'll let you go next then after this.
Yeah.
Because you've got it in its hand essentially. What would you like to do?
So we are on a raised section of road. How significant is this road drop? I'm curious.
I'd say it's pretty significant.
Yep.
It's like a big
Yeet it.
over sort of highway. Essentially, you sort of came up one of the sort of exit ramps and sort of made
Yep.
your way on. So there's definitely a big drop.
Excellent. Then I'm going to use my anthropomorphic arms, which will deal 3 structural points of damage. I'm just going to throw this thing over the side. So it's come running up to me. I'm a medium class thing. It is a light class thing. So I'm just going to pick it. So as it goes to shoot me, I grab hold of its laser, arm, gun, whatever form this thing takes, and sort of like pivot get my other hand up and right over.
Fantastic. Can you make me a D20 check?
I most certainly can. So, out of curiosity, on a 20, I do double damage. Is that correct?
Yes, you do. Yeah.
So golden. I'll take that double damage.
You've absolutely nailed it. So yes, you do that, and a bit of bonus as well. What I'd say, and you can choose what you want in this bonus essentially. But yeah, you pick this up, and almost Wilhelm scream. This creature is thrown off the side. And it sort of falls down to a little, well, obviously it's not that far, but it essentially like a little spot and it goes dink and a small poof as you pretty much destroy that whole mech off the top. So fantastic.
Nice.
Bye.
Yeah, so it sort of comes up and has woefully misjudged its life choices.
Yeah,
Well,
F in the
what
chat.
I'll-
F in the chat.
Do then is because I can do something additional with my D20.
Yes.
I'll ask if I can activate my multi-targeting, which is a energy point spend, but it means I can make additional attacks. So having like taken one out, I'll right myself around, pulling the gun off one shoulder and activating the missile pod that's on the other.
Absolutely. Yeah,
so
I'll
I'll
let you do that.
Yep. So I'll spend my 1 energy point. And I will make I'll shoot Tex with my 30mm autocannon. And then if there's one that's
What range is that? I was going to say, what range is that?
Close range for the 30mm autocannon.
It's far away just now.
I
Oh no, he ran
thought
up. He ran up to
sprinted
you. You're
us to
right.
close,
You
yeah.
are right. Yes.
And then I still have my movement, so I'll move a bit closer as I'm shooting my autocannon. So I'm in long range for the other mechs to drop a missile on them. Does that work?
Perfect. That works exactly. Roll.
Okay,
a
right.
D20.
So we'll start with the 30mm autocannon, which is which is special is if I roll a 1, it jams and it's operational for 10 minutes.
Perfect.
So it's a damn good job that I only roll a 17.
That is a success. You deal damage.
So that's 3 points of structural damage to Tex. And then for the missile pod on the, I'll target, let's say left, just for ease of differentiating.
There's 2 left on the thing. Yep.
Yeah, because the one that's on the right will also take 1 point of damage if I hit. Actually, it doesn't say if I hit. It just says I deal additional 1 point of structural point damage to everything in melee range of the target, whether or not I hit.
Yep.
And that's a 13.
That does hit. Yes.
And I need to note that down. So yeah, I just sort of, pivot, throw this thing off the side of it, and as it's going, the hand comes over the shoulder, points the cannon at Tex and takes a shot whilst running forward, and the missile just goes up into the air towards it.
Fantastic. Let me find it. I just need to roll something.
Excellent sound effect there, Socrates.
I can't believe I rolled an actual 1 on that. That's so frustrating. So you go and Tex mech again. Point of view of the camera. It goes into this horrific mech. There is I don't know, a ton of taxidermy. There is like a weird animal with lots of horns on the back wall. That's sort of its mouth sort of like this. You see a bloke in a duster with a cowboy hat on, and you just see his eyes go wide, going, "What the fuck?" His hand goes towards his emergency hatch. But he rolls a natural 1. Doesn't make it in time. And it is just fireworks essentially. So yes, I had to roll on the critical injuries table, and 1 is death. So couldn't have timed that better. So Tech is out of the race. He's like gone. And then the other ones, what was the damage that you gave?
So it's 3 points of damage to the one on the left, and then an additional point of damage to the one on the right.
Fantastic.
How many? I thought there were only 3 mechs.
So
One went over.
Yep.
There was 4 total, 3 small, 1 large.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And what was the range damage for the one next to it? Sorry, Ben.
1 point of structural damage as well.
Fantastic. Good stuff. So I need to make another hatch escape roll for someone. Look, 15. So they do get out. Hooray! Where did that go? Critical injuries table. Oh well, sort of they get out. So you see that the text mech is just basically burning. You can see sort of skull and crossbones sort of melting away from some terrible paint job. The missile comes and explodes another mech, which sort of it bends slightly and sort of starts to fall over. There is somebody you can also see somebody is getting out and then is just basically crawling their way before coughing so much that they fall unconscious. And then the one that did get damaged. I guess the one that is sort of like shaken slightly but is still upright. Ben, it is your choice to pick who goes next. Would you like one of your friends, or would you like this poor
I'll
mech
take
to go
the single remaining small mech to go next. I think is the best idea here.
Fantastic. Well, they've just seen their whole platoon get annihilated. So they're going to roll. I'm going to roll a morale check to see what happens. They get a 3, so 3 is retreat. So they're going to go. You just hit, all of you hear like on the radio, and it goes and it sort of turns around and quickly sort of arms pounding back in towards the city, essentially.
Nope.
Can I stop him before he does that?
Have you had your turn?
No.
yet?
Nope. We've got 2 more people who haven't had their turns
That's
yet.
what I thought. Well, I'll let Flea go first and see if they have anything for the combat. But yeah, essentially, it's moving itself away. So Flea, what would you like to do?
I've got a job to do. I'm from letting these jokers can deal with the enemy. I'm still moving mechs for the caravan. I noticed. I'm still just humming along. I'm like, just shifting
It's just
stuff.
in the background, essentially.
Yeah,
But,
there's just these missiles and railguns going behind me. And
Yeah. It's always perfectly timed to land like a beat of your music.
Yeah.
So you've got no clue that a fight's going on, no clue that like Socrates just killed 3 people style thing.
It's all background noise. Oh, just roll a d20. Let's see how successful you are at moving the rest of the mechs as this ongoing fight is going behind
18.
you. 18, you're absolutely fine. You're
Every
like,
time you flip over a car, that's when the rocket hits. or
Just when it hits,
something.
yeah. I am looking. I've got expert salvage. I'm looking for a fan for blackjack if I find one. But that's what I'm doing.
fantastic. Perfect. Well, we'll come to the end of at the end of this fight. We'll come to that. So no problem. All right, blackjack. Up to you. You see this thing going like running
I've
away
got
slow
2
motion.
choices. I'm wondering how vindictive I'm feeling. Do I make him go boom, or do I try and take control of him and make him come back and beg for forgiveness? I'm thinking I'm going to try and make him come back and beg for
back to the
forgiveness.
city's not a bad idea, because that means that if they're working with a larger crew, knowledge doesn't get to them.
I don't care about that. I want him to come back and beg for forgiveness. He's scratched our paint jobs.
Actually, I don't think anyone did.
I'm gonna Trojan him and try and take control.
They sort of did a woohoo, like we're the bad guys, and then you obliterated them.
And now he needs to apologise for being a bad person. He needs to come to my feet and beg up my feet and watch me roll a 1 here.
Yeah. Okay, go for
So it's the Trojan module. As an action, you attempt to hack an opposing mech in long range to gain control of it.
All right, go for it.
And I've got my own table here that tells me what happens.
Perfect. Let us know
It's
what
on
happens
page
in that.
27 if you want to look at it.
Follow along at home, folks.
I got a 15.
Ooh, very good.
Oh,
And that says you take full control of the target mech for 15 minutes.
Oh no!
Sorry, for 10 minutes.
That's just mean.
I have a pet for 10 minutes.
So what would you
You
like
basically
to do?
just see me going, here, boy, here, come to me, come. Yes, now bow down, sit.
It runs
here.
over to you, and you sort of, again, using different buttons and modules and stuff, you just see it sort of awkwardly sort of get to its knees and do like a grovel position. as desperately everyone can see this. There's it's a woman, a pilot in the back going, oh shit, and is desperately trying to rewire things and stuff like that, but all to no avail.
This is the first I notice of the combat, and has their mech got any good stuff on it?
Roll another d20.
Okay.
I get out the mech and I just stand on top of it and
19.
point my
Okay.
flashy laser pistol at her, going, "You just wait here a moment, okay? You just hang on a second. We've got
Brilliant.
questions."
Oh, questions. Well, with that, let's take a post-combat break so I can work out what you get in terms of salvage, and we'll be right back in like 5 minutes, if that's all right with folks. But yes, you've completed very successfully your first combat of Salvage Union. So good job, folks.
I rolled the dice well. I'm shocked.
Drink water, chat. Everyone go get water.
Yep.
Thank you very much. We'll see you back in 5.
See you in 5.
Bye.
And according to David, we are back. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us again. So, as you've just seen, my party have just annihilated one of the first combat, which is exactly what I wanted them to do. But going to Flea, because Flea, you were doing some salvaging, per se.
Yes.
And I forgot to ask you. So now the area is clear. So we'll go do that first before you go on to the mech that's currently
pet.
groveling at Blackjack's feet. So what I want to know is that you're able to find stuff, but how much stuff? The question. So how many energy points are you doing? Salvaging will take an hour. How many would you like? Because then that determines how many items you've managed to find.
Only one. I'm doing it as a side thing. I just want to pick up something. I'm not, because most of this stuff's going to be picked clean. So I'm just, if anything happens to be good as I'm moving these chassis out of the way, I'll pick it. So I'm not going out my way.
Well, we've got 4 mechs that we've just taken care of.
Exactly.
I suppose,
There's going to be more stuff there.
Yeah.
In terms of the general
One of them's
stuff,
undamaged as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the salvaging the place itself, that's fine. If you're getting something specific from certainly say the mech in front of you, that is slightly different. So I can so if you're looking around just now, and I'll tell you this for free because I don't have time to say like, oh, you only got this and you don't get anything else. It's not that. So I rolled on the tech table and you find lots of sort of plastics essentially, stuff of different products and stuff. So you can see there's thermoplastics, there's polycarbons, vinyls, polymers, that sort of thing essentially. So you managed to find that, so you can take.
I'll pull them off. And Commodore, if it's okay with you, can I load them up onto the back? I have no storage capacity, so yeah, I'll load up a whole load of plastics.
Brilliant. So yeah, one slot is now dedicated to plastics, essentially. And I know that we can go into the fine and nitty-gritty details, but we don't have time for this sort of one shot. So on the mech itself, on the mechs themselves, I will say you quite sizably destroyed quite a few of them, so there's not much worth salvaging there. But you want to get a specific system. Let me find the thing. Specific parts. So you're salvaging a specific system or module takes an action and costs 1 energy point or ability point. Energy point because you're using your mech to take this out just now. It requires a mech with rigging arms, which is what you have. You cannot salvage anything mounted on an active mech or actively being used. I mean, it's currently active, but I'm sure it's going to be destroyed at some point in the next hour.
Not with a couple of cuts to the wires.
Exactly. When you salvage, you gain a component from the random system or module. So I can decide that. So that is all fine.
Yeah, I'm looking for a system as well because I'm packed out on modules. So it's only systems I'm looking for.
Cool beans. So if you want to spend that energy point, you can get that. Perfect. So if you note that down. And David, because you did say off stream, what was it? How many energy points did you use for your 4 energy points? So you're pretty depleted on your energy points just now.
No.
No?
No.
Got it.
I'm fine. I've got lots.
Cool. So on this, on the light mech, on this one, you can see there is, trying to find the light mech. I think it's a laser it's got on it. And taking it apart, you can see, so it's got, it's got a laser, an escape hatch, and a comms module, but that's pretty much it.
Sure. So, I'm going to wrench off the escape hatch. I don't have one.
Super.
These mechs are designed to protect the mechanics, not the pilot.
So when I say you're taking off, so that's what the system is. But you only take off like a bit of the stuff. Right. So you get either scrap metals or a simple mechanism.
A simple mechanism. I'm going to find metals everywhere. So yeah, I'll rip off a simple mechanism, put that on the back of Commodore.
Perfect. So you like, jobs are good and done.
What is our post-apocalyptic punishment system like? How the obvious answer here is death or darker things, but
Leave and go.
how do we handle these people? Because I'm tempted to give them to the merchant and sort of like, you have to, work off the debt to this person because you were going to rob and or kill them.
Yeah.
But additionally, you have to treat them like human beings and not just, style things. But I don't know.
I'd say this is the first time you've encountered a shootout, but also the first time you've obviously really won one. So it's a really interesting choice. You know that there are people of the wastelands, they've got denizens, you'll have outlaws like these people who take advantage of people, but then you are also taking advantage of the ship that has sort of landed in a thing. So it is kind of like a free-for-all, winner-takes-all type situation. So I'm going to leave that up to you folks. There's not like there's not like a code.
Because there's two of them definitely alive, and there's a third that might be alive if they got lucky with the fall.
They didn't.
Okay, never mind.
They didn't.
Yeah, let them go. They're harmless, aren't they?
Yeah, people do what they need to survive. Sometimes they get blown up. Comes with the job. Punishment's punishment.
I'll walk over to Tiffany and go, look, you've got a lot of stuff here, but no real protection. I reckon if you gave these folks a chance, they'd work for you for, working it off. And if you can help their mechs get a bit of repair, you've probably got yourself 2 decent guards now that whatever that idiot's name's gone.
I believe his name was Tech. He was infamous around here as an outlaw, but you dealt with him so quickly.
Was he?
Yes.
Huh.
We've been avoiding him for weeks. But
well, then it looks like you've got 2 people that could do with a new job and maybe a re-education on how to handle problems.
That's brilliant. Well, please, you've done so much for us already. You not only dealt with, without a bandit problem, but also cleared the way. We've got, and she sort of looks here. We've got some optical glass. We've got loads of the stuff. If you want it, you can also take that.
Load her on up.
All right.
I've got time to be. I've got my rigging arm.
Mm-hmm.
Powering over. It's a big crane. Leads over.
It always like a lucky dip sort of goes in. And it's like, the car, it moves. And you pull out a whole sheet of optical glass. So yes, this is glass of sufficient clarity and quality that can be used in scopes, scanners, lasers, and other optical appliances. So there you go. So if you ever need glass, Commodore has
I need a new screen for my my game console.
It is quite big.
Excellent. We can have a group game. We can all play together.
We get some circuitry and wiring, and I can put together an advanced targeting module with what we've got so far.
I mean, like the one I use on Brawler.
Yeah, but bang it on Commodore with the railgun.
Good call.
Sounds like a party. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are you doing with the groveling mech at this point? Obviously, the hatch has now been taken off, so you see a very frightened woman, sort of hands up.
I'm stood on the mech with my fancy laser pistol, my modded out laser pistol, just pointing at her, smiling at her, going, "Ha ha!" Just being completely over the top, thinking I'm in some kind of anime space thing. Space cowboy, that's exactly what you get.
I'll sort of pop the front hood on Brawler, and sort of lean out, dog tags, this replacement jaw, and just go, y'all look like you need work now. Yeah. So that person you're trying to rob, that Tiffany, they're gonna help your mechs, which we've disabled.
You're going to around fire.
You're going to work. Well, to be fair, there's one that's on fire, and the other one was kind of on fire, and then their friend is out the front, alive but unconscious.
I mean, the Texas one is just legs currently.
So Tiffany said that you can work with them, so you're going to provide them protection, and they're going to help you with the fact that you now have no mechs and nothing, and you're at the behest of 4 people you just tried to murder or rob at best. So as I see it, you've got 2 choices. You can reevaluate yourself and recognize that maybe, just maybe, this is the one chance the universe gives you to straighten up. Or if I don't hear from Tiffany in a couple of months' time, know that you've got a couple of months lead on me, but then I'm going to come and hunt you down if anything happens to them.
Ooh, make me a D20 check, please. And then I'm going to also do one.
So people in the chat aren't used to how much luck I have, and like everyone else knows I am lucky. So I'm
Takes
just
it
going to
all
tilt
from
my
me. This is why I roll so
camera
badly.
Oh no, that's the cat.
Hello, cat.
Oh, hello.
That's a cat. Oh,
Post-apocalyptic
you rolled a
cat.
First of all, it's a cat. So you can just see the 17 that I rolled. I make no apologies. You know, the devil offered me a good deal.
It did. That's fine. So you can see, you Socrates, you make this big, cool, sort of almost like anime style. I can imagine everyone else, it cuts to everyone else sort of like they're looking very, very cool. And you can see this person, their hand sort of twitches towards a laser pistol that they have. And they think better of it. Yeah, they think better of it, realizing they're outnumbered. And they sort of go, like nod their things. And Tiffany is very grateful to have an extra pair of hands, and I'll say for the sake of expediency they go pick up the unconscious bloke that's a couple of miles behind. But you success, you have managed to outwit the highway challenge, so good job team, very good job.
Outwit, I think we just destroyed the challenge.
If we look through the VOD, yeah, it's completely destroyed. So you have a choice now. So you can see in front of you the way you were going is Hope Falls, sort of the big sort of skyscrapers and a huge sort of almost like a metropolis type city. And you know that behind you is this other settlement of wastelanders. And you know there is bits of intel there should you want to go see it, but you are on a bit of a time schedule, because you know certainly that sort of big sort of fight would not have gone unnoticed, and you know that other people are trying to get towards Hope Falls to get some salvage. What is the plan?
Smash and grab.
Yeah, go as fast as we can. This is taken long enough, I think.
Can anybody carry Commodore? You're going a bit slow. We might need to move a bit quicker.
I mean,
now, hon, that's enough of all this. You know, Alice goes as fast as she wants to, and I've got all your plastics, I've got all your glass. I'll carry you home when you get into trouble. Now, don't you complain about how fast my mech's going.
I can make her go faster.
I can make you go slower. It's called a rail gun.
I can. I'm going to go over there now.
I'd say that's a good idea, hun.
Bye.
Play nice.
Fantastic. So you make your way towards Hope Falls, and yeah, you can see across this sort of city there's definitely bits of debris. More so, you can see there's smoke coming from a building very far down, sort of if you're just walking down it in front of you, sort of, let's say north, you're going north essentially, and you can see other bits of things where, you know, it has not been lived in for some time, and you can definitely see that this ship, the Atychos, had some sort of explosion, and bits of the salvage have gone across the city. So again, through the magic of tech, you get up a new data map. Ooh, exciting! And I will send that to you now. Essentially, I assume Blackjack goes enhance, and you sort of double tap your screen. And it appears up like so. So you are entering from something that is this sort of shown on the data map as industrial. And you can see there are sort of 5 different areas. Going from industrial, there is one down which is just named Lake. Then it goes up to a plaza. And then from the plaza, there's 2 other options you can go to. You can go to the hub and the park, essentially. As you start to make your way in onto the outskirts of Hope Falls, you can see that you come into sort of this industrial block, sort of an intertwined area of factories and stuff. And you can see this huge sort of factory in the distance, which just has a very generic sign called Meat Processing Factory on the side, because I don't have time to make up brands. But you can see there has been a massive hole in the roof here. So you suspect that one of the bits of ship, a really important bit of the ship, is inside.
Looks like something fell through the roof.
Yeah, where's the 2 questions? Where's the biggest impact site look like? Is it the plaza? Is it come down in?
Good question. Let me have a quick check. What's your second question before I answer?
The other is, if we're in the industrial zone now, do we know where the Aztec zone is?
Unfortunately, that's in the next module, next to the futuristic zone.
Okay, right.
Man,
Sorry.
So, I watched that recently. That's such a great show. Cool. So you can see. Let me see. So got that. Okay, so the biggest, looking at your map and sort of doing some quick navigations and stuff, I'll give you this for free. You think the biggest part of the ship came down in the park itself. You can see it's again from the top graphical view. You can see there's a big sort of score mark essentially there.
Okay, right. To the park. That's the other side, isn't it? That's annoying.
Yes. So yeah.
Okay.
So again, just for our viewers at home, because I know we can't really show the map, they're in the industrial zone, which is probably on the left side of the map, which goes down to the lake, goes up to a big plaza, sort of in the middle, and then there are two zones off that: the hub zone or the hab zone, sorry, and the park. And it looks like on the map as well. Again, you would see this easily, all of you, probably again through Blackjack's sort of way of just doing tech. That there is a piece in the industrial zone, a piece in the hub zone, and the park as well. I'm looking at it.
So logically, we could get maybe 2 of 3, and then leave, or go for a third and then be forced to leave from a set direction. But if we leave from the park, we'll be heading back, I imagine, towards Scrapper's Bluff. Is that correct, Fiona?
Yeah, I will say for the sake of narrative that it's sort of, you could see like there's ways in and out of this thing, and so it would sort of make its way back towards the way, or you could even just skirt round and then get back on the highway.
Let's check the industrial one, see what we can find. Because if we hit a treasure trove, then great. But if not, we'll push on. Yeah, let's have a look.
How much more can we get into Commodore? Like,
I have 12 cargo slots. I've filled 2.
Plunk, plunk, plunk. Yeah.
She big.
I think someone else has got some as well. It's at the bottom of the mech sheet. There's like I don't have any.
I was going to say one person I think out of all of you doesn't have any, but most of you will have stuff. It's just to salvage it, to like pull it off stuff.
Oh no, it's literally just Commodores.
Is it?
Of our ones, yeah, the Brawler, the Mantis, and the.
Well, isn't it? Oh, good on you, Commodore.
Yeah,
carrying all that weight.
The team. The other 2 of 6 players we don't have all have cargo. So I guess good choice. Me.
All mechs can carry salvage equal to the number of arms they have, as well as
right.
I don't have any arms.
Yeah.
You know what? That's hilarious. I didn't even think to ask like who's brought cargo holds. So like you could all gone out and they're like, right, we need to take one thing. Oh, no one brought it.
I can actually, if we really stuck, I can make one.
Can you make me arms?
Yes. I can make you arms, and I can make cargo holds as well. So if we get enough stuff together, I can, make enough sort of rigging arm, scrap metals, wiring, simple mechanism, and circuitry. So we find enough stuff, I can bodge together an arm for you.
Cool. I've got 1 system slot.
Cool. Okay. Well, let's see what we find, and let's see what we can do.
So yeah, so this big sort of generic meat processing factory is there, and you can see the big hole in it. I'm really thinking like very typical Manchester old-fashioned mill factory at this point, and but you do notice like you won't be able to get your whole mechs into it per se. Like you maybe have one of people look over the top perhaps, but to get in at it, you probably have to like have people go in to see what is in there and then direct someone to pick it out if whatever you find in there.
Okay, I can. I'm sorry, I realise I'm dominating at the moment, but just
please
very quickly, I can ping this place. I've got a deep survey scanner, which is kind of used for mining operations, but it is for enclosed places. So I could put basically, if I find a hole in the wall, get as close as possible, and then ping it, and we get almost like I almost see it like a wireframe map. You don't see very detail, cool. But you get a sense of the structure inside. So I can do that for 2 energy points.
Amazing. That's good. Do you have to? Is there any?
2 energy. 2 energy. Yeah.
So, and what do you ping off it? Does it describe it?
Right. Yes. Scanner. You scan structures such as cave networks or ruins. I'm pushing the finger a little bit here. Or base. You sense the general layout of the next 3 areas connected to yours, plus the layout of any passageways between those areas. The mediator will draw you a rudimentary map says that.
Sure.
Noting any major features like columns, bridges, or crevices. So it is meant to be for underground, so maybe it's not as exact when it's above ground.
I think that is a genius thing to do. I'm gonna rule of cool it. Let's do it like that.
Thank you.
I just wanted to see what else you can do. Great. So you spend that energy for me.
2 more energy. Yeah.
Fabulous. So you go up close. You put in like what? How do you describe what is it?
I think it's like do you remember in the 50s War of the Worlds? There's like a metal tentacle that goes in. This is the most advanced bit of kit I've got, and it's like that. It goes in to the front, and it's got like a couple of colour lights on it, and then it retracts back in. It's the most advanced bit of kit I've got. Like it looks like Apple made it. You know, everything else.
There's a logo on the side that you tried to cover up.
Everything else is HP laptops, and then you have your Apple pen over there.
I've stuck all my Anarchy stickers over the Apple branding. And it goes out.
Fantastic. It just works because we're just gonna be really cool of it. So this thing, everyone see this is horrible, so very sleek thing. It's probably battered like any Apple products that I own. It's battered, there's scratches on it, everything like that. It goes and it sort of moves around, almost hand-like, and then sort of and you get like a blip of a radar. Yeah, going off on that. Very cool. So it sort of blips out, and instantly you can see this is a very big factory room. You can see small columns, etc. There's used to be sort of conveyor belts, etc. In the middle, what you think has caused this huge, big sort of hole looks to be like a big shape. It's sort of like different things going on, and you can easily assess that this is an engine of some sort. Looking around, there doesn't seem to be any of the big rooms per se, maybe bits of ladders that have fallen off and something like that. As it turns around, though, you get a sense that there is behind certain columns and stuff like that, there seems to be other things around there. And suddenly you see across one of the skies, something moves very quickly on 2 feet and hides behind another column. Right. You are aware that there is someone else or other people here in this place as well. Okay, so we've got an engine in there, we've got one big hall, but we've got company. We're going to have to go in on foot, I think.
Is there electronics in there? Can you see any electronics?
You can't currently. What I would say, in order to do that, if you wanted to actually do some salvage stuff, you have to go in and check the area yourself and then make a salvage test. Which is
I don't want to salvage. I want to know if I can gain access to anything.
Oh, I see. So
would there be like a computer terminal? Would he see? Are you seeing a computer terminal? Are you seeing
I see
a mech or something?
No, all of this, what you see in this place has either been picked clean already, or it's just bits of ruin. If it's just think like a meat processing factory, but it's just like conveyors being put into things. There's nothing else here. Not even the light fittings have been.
So I can't turn on a conveyor belt.
It doesn't look like it, no.
As it goes, a quick way in. Just put Socrates on a conveyor belt and just let them walk in and just start firing everywhere. If
the engine was already on a conveyor belt, this is easy, you don't have to go in. It just comes out. But yes, this is what you see flee.
Oh, I'll relay that back then. We've got a big engine, it's a big hall. We'll need to go in to have a look around, but there are people in there, so I don't know. They'll know we're here already. You can't drive a mech up to a wall and send some in, so it's not like, we might as well announce ourselves in there.
Exactly.
In which case, I mean, this thing is a large industrial warehouse with columns and space.
Yeah.
Is it large enough to accommodate a mech itself?
You would have to probably break a wall. When I say this hole...
Oh, no, I intended to break the wall anyway.
Yeah,
cool.
I have a move that could be useful here.
Okay. Go for it. What is it?
So I have a move called Behemoth.
Okay.
Which says you strike fear into the hearts of a creature or mech. Explain how you do this and ask for what you want. I would quite like to just sort of walk through this wall.
Okay.
You Kool-Aid guy this.
Oh, and
no. Oh, yeah.
And so, this like giant heavy mech with a massive railgun on the front, just sort of walking straight through.
Yeah.
Guns perhaps pointing inwards. And just being like, and then just sort of comms coming out being like, hello, everyone. It's the SAR engine right there. So we're just gonna go in and grab that if that's all right with all of you.
Can we all like hang
I
off the
really
side
hope
of
it is.
You want to firm horn as well.
If we could have can Socrates ride on the back of you, so when you walk through, Socrates then rises up and all the guns just appear as well.
I love
Flatbed
this.
truck, it's a bigger thing than me, so I am fine to support this action because this was exactly along the lines of what I was hoping, and it's even better by Commodore's. I refuse to call it behemoth ability. This is the Kool-Aid guy.
You press the button and it goes. Brilliant. Do you have to spend any points for that, Commodore?
I have to spend 2 action points, but is it that because I'm using my mech to do it, can I spend energy points to do it?
Yeah.
It has the ability underneath that says you can. You
Yeah.
can.
That's all my other bit. Oh wait.
So for example,
Here we go. There is a roll. I missed this. Roll the die. You can activate this ability in a heavy mech and use energy points to do so.
Yeah.
I'd have to do a roll to see how it goes. And I have a little table of my own.
Just don't roll
Do
a
a
1.
roll for it then. I want to see.
Yeah, and don't forget you can push it if you want to reroll.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, you guys have been doing so well, so I've had to mention it so far.
But it reminded me in the first half of the game.
You just fainted from stress and heat within the first.
Oh, make him a makeup run for crying out loud.
What did you get, Commodore?
I got a 12.
Okay, that's a
it
success.
says they flee from you or acquiesce to your demands. And those are basically the same thing. So
Fantastic. Okay, so we'll do cinematic on this. So you do that. You get everything ready. You put your sort of mixtape into the radio, like, and then you do your honk honk. And Socrates gets onto the back of you. You obliterate the wall. The wall was not the problem. It just happened to be in your way. Bits of rubble start coming down, and the lights go on. And you say, "Hello, everyone. This is ours now." And you see a group of 7 wastelanders who are looking very scared. Look like they were just hiding from you because 4 big mechs came up and a couple of them go and run away, and you can see that one of the I think about 5 of them run away. One of them is trying to carry what looks like a young boy who seems to have hurt his leg, not from anything that you're doing, it's just trying to get away from you, and they're desperately trying to get behind, but unfortunately you've come at such an angle, you've blocked off any exit, so they're just trying to scrabble around the wall. They don't look like a threat. They look like they were trying to hide.
I will get out of the mech entirely, so I will sort of like get out of Brawler.
Mm-hmm.
I will walk over to the boy. So I'll put my hands up, very, very, very calm, very, very safe. I'll walk over and just go, "Let me take a look at that, son." And I will get down and I will spend an action point to do my healing biofoam, which means I can heal a target within a gauge range 2 HP as an action.
Excellent. So they all are scuffling back from you. Again, the lights are blazing, the music is still going on from Commodore, and 2 of the mechs are also peeking in behind them. You get out, and the boy can't move very far. And they're sort of also sort of looking quietly at you. They don't look like they're armed at all. Looking at the leg itself, you do as best you can sort of patch it up. Maybe you get a bit of a splint going on, and he looks grateful to you, again, wincing in pain. It's not going to last, though. You can tell from just using that move, and I'll give you this for free. This boy will need medical attention, which you think he'd only get on the Union crawler itself.
And is this your mom?
It's a sort of an older girl who sort of looks at him and just like, it's my little brother. Please, we don't. You can take what it just came from the sky.
It's okay. Look, we should get your brother somewhere safe, okay? And I think the best place for them and you would be on our crawler, okay? I'll pay for everything in that regard, okay? Just you should come with us. Maybe you should wait here and I'll come back for you. But I can do so much here, but this needs more than I can give right now, okay? And I want this to go well, okay? I mean, this is what happens when you don't floss properly. Let's make sure we can take care of the leg. Yeah.
As this happens, the claw is sort of like reaching out from Atlas, comes down, grabs the engine.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something completely
Yeah,
different.
You are coming with us now, children.
You don't have a choice. Fantastic. Roll for me, Socrates, a d20 check to see how successful you are in convincing that you can help, because you have just destroyed and come for them.
Hey!
Yeah. And we'll get to the Commodore in a second.
Okay. So that's a 5.
A 5. Fortunately, that is a failure. You can see they're sort of like, look.
I'm just gonna push myself if I can.
Absolutely. So when you push yourself, so it's add 2 stress to yourself, and then roll the d20 again.
I get a.
Oh, say that again. Sorry.
A 15 on the
15, so
reroll,
that
but I
is
do
a
take 2
success.
points of stress.
You do, yes. That is right. Let me just check one thing, just make sure I've got it. But yeah, that is a success. So what you want happens. So you can see there's a moment of sort of unsure or uncertainty around the whole group, not just these two. And they're like, okay, look, just
Promise, if you don't want to stay on the crawler, I'll bring you right back. Okay? I promise.
Okay.
Anyone else who wants to come, you can help them get there. Get ready. We can take care of a few things there. But yeah, I can do what I can for that, but I can't do much more here. And I think I should.
Okay.
As thank you and payment for the engine.
Okay, fine. And they sort of group together, sort of huddle in the corner. What I will say for this, because after pushing your pilot, you add 2 stress, and then you roll another d20. If the result is equal to or under the current stress, your pilot stress will overload. So could you roll another d20?
Yep.
Please.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's a 9. So
A 9. So fumble. So you make a bad decision in your panic. I'll give you
I think it would be if it was below my.
You're right. You know what? I do keep forgetting that. Thank you for reminding me. So yes, so it
Equal to or below.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So yes, absolutely fine. So you remain calm, even though you're like, "Come with me, kid."
Stupid.
I'm a doctor.
Children need to do what they're told.
I think while Socrates is doing a very impassioned, mercy sort of thing, at the back you can see Flea waving Commodore's arm towards the engine, just like
you definitely have
I'm
glow
riding
sticks.
the arm.
You have glow sticks.
yeah.
Can I be riding the arm as well? I'm like hanging off the edge of it, going, yeah, you cool.
Bring it in.
Bring it in. Fantastic. Let me find out what this engine does. So easily enough you can put the engine onto the Commodore. I mean, it's there, you found it, and it takes a little while. It takes about an hour or so, and it's quite loud as you're doing it, but you now have the engine, which can be broken down for parts. If you can be salvaged as a system, so that will take one person's energy point. I will say, the Commodore, could you take an energy point to pick up the salvage on that? And you salvage it as a system.
It's a system, is it?
Yes.
How just I'm well.
Go on.
I've got something here which is called well actually.
Perfect.
Oh God.
But I'm wondering whether to. It's only one action point.
Describe
but
it
I'm
for
wondering whether to use it on the engine. I don't know if describe what the engine looked like to me, and then I'll explain.
The engine looks like a very futuristic engine that you would find in any air vehicle.
Okay.
Of that sort. Tell us what well actually.
So
is.
well actually says you're able to answer questions about modules, systems, mechs, or technology. So depending on the result of the dice, I get to ask you a certain number of questions,
Perfect.
and some of them you tell me the truth, and some of them you don't have to.
That could be fun. Do you want to do that?
Well, actually, yes, I really do.
Fantastic. We'll spend that. Was it ability point then?
Yeah, an ability point.
All right,
And I will roll the dice.
Perfect.
Just, above a 10 would be great. Cool. I got a 14.
Okay.
Which says you are able to ask 2 questions about it, and the mediator will give you true answers.
Rubbish. Okay.
This is why I wanted above a 10.
Yeah.
A 10 you give. I asked 2 questions, and one of them is a lie.
All right, go for it.
So, what do I want to ask?
its value, maybe.
Yeah, I was
So
going
we
to
know
say,
whether or not it's worthwhile.
is it worthwhile us carrying it around with us?
I would say yes. It is made of various lots of parts, so you could break it down for even more. I'd say it's composed of 5 parts.
5
which
parts.
would be
Okay.
useful
Well,
to-
I've just also been informed I can technically push to fail rolls. So maybe that's going to happen on the next one, just for the fun
Do
of it.
not encourage David to fail rolls, Leyline. We don't need that help.
totally do. What's your second question?
So
Blackjack?
there's 5 parts on it.
Mhm.
You'd recommend us carrying it around with us.
I mean, it's pretty like you've not seen something this intact essentially. From what you've discovered with the downing of the ship, is that it's broken up into bigger parts. So any sort of salvage like this is worth a lot. I'll give
Okay.
you that for free.
I think that would be my next question. Is how much is it worth? You say worth a lot, then yeah. I think you've given me enough information that would have been from 2 questions from that. So
Yeah.
I'm not
Perfect,
going. I'm not going to ask
it's
anymore.
definitely taking this back will be really useful for the crawler and for a lot of people. You can make a lot on this, so absolutely
There's enough bits in there.
fabulous.
Cool. So, Flea, if you want to pick around, it's quite useful. Have at it, my dear sir.
Yeah, if we've got a little bit of time to kill.
Yeah, it will
Just
be
make
about
sure
an
you get
hour
me
or
a
so to
fan,
put it
okay?
in
I
and
need.
stuff.
I still want that fan. You still owe me that
I'll
fan.
find it. I'll find you a fan. There'll be a smaller sort of sub fan within the big engine.
I'm guessing
you
it's
know,
got
so-
like a radiator fan on it to keep it cool.
There's just so many fans.
Taking this opportunity whilst we've got like an hour of salvaging and getting this thing out there and stuff like that. Fiona, how do we do things like regain action points and structure points on our mechs and things like that?
I am
And
so
heat.
glad you asked. Just before we do that, so in terms of salvaging, Flea, so again, how many points are you putting into salvaging to get stuff? Hang on, sorry, let me find it.
I'll put 2 energy points in. Screw it.
2 energy points in. Great. Can you roll me 2 d20s? I'll let you
Yes.
find something on that.
19
19. Very good.
and 11.
Oh, both very good. So spending this time
Yep.
looking around, you can find, or you find some carbon fiber, which is stronger and lighter than most base metals and is useful for strengthening load-bearing components or for creating light and effective armor. And you
But
also...
Fiona, sorry, before, I can actually pick what I want. That's part of my
Go
thing,
for it.
as long as it's in the tech level. So I'm looking at very quickly what I might actually want. To
What tech level?
1.
1. It's not in tech level 1.
Well, I was saying, so what tech level is it?
It's tech level 3.
Ooh.
Because we're in a big factory, you see. and
Well,
there's lots of
depleted uranium it is.
They make the best rounds.
I'll pull out some depleted uranium and
Yep.
some superconductors then, please.
Perfect. Easy enough. Yeah. You sort of go,
What?
hang on, narrative.
No, I'm literally pulling out the depleted uranium. This is fine.
Yeah, behind like, it was like it's
Yeah.
okay. We'll take you back to our very safe Union crawler. Oh God, look what I found, lads!
Oh, lads, depleted uranium.
It's
Troop over
not
the
melting
water
my
bit.
hands at all.
Yeah, this
Does
is
someone
good.
want to take it off me, please?
Fantastic. So yeah, in answer to your question, Socrates, to regain ability points and energy points is actually downtime where you go back to your Union crawler and spend a week there.
Right. Okay.
And that's the same for relieving stress as well. Like relieving stress and venting heat is slightly different. But to recover all your points, essentially to do a long rest, you have to go back to your Union crawler and spend a week fine tuning and stuff.
How would I remove the heat then that I have accrued because
Or the stress that
I've
I
just got far
cured.
too much. I've
Perfect.
just got far too hot. My makeup is running, and I'm really upset by this.
Perfect. So for a short-term thing, let me find this on the sheet. So venting heat, we'll do that first. To reduce your heat, you must shut down your mech for 10 minutes, which obviously is easy enough if you're looking for stuff just now. This will reset its heat back to 0 once complete. You can then power back up your mech as an action to make it fully operational. So I'm going to give you time to do that now. So if people want to do that for your venting heat, you can totally do that.
Yep.
Yes,
Relieving stress is the same. 10 minutes.
Exactly. So yeah, so as long as you, yeah, so maybe you're right. Okay, we've got all the stuff we need. Now let's just take a 10-minute power nap.
I sit in the shade, retouch everything up, and
Exactly.
play a bit of Candy Crush.
Energy's not until the very end, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
energy and ability points. Yes, because those are obviously the more
Flip.
important things to do stuff. Yeah, you used a
Mm.
lot of them
You've
in that.
used a lot of energy.
in that first fight. I mean, props, fantastic news. Hopefully that will.
I mean, I used 1 energy in the first fight.
You rolled incredibly well.
Salvaging's costing
I
me
used
energy,
4,
so I
but
need
I've
to be
still
a bit
got.
more,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the idea, is that obviously you
Yeah.
weigh up the pros and cons of salvaging more stuff and getting
Yeah.
back and avoiding fights. So
But I
Yeah,
absolutely
I've
love
got
the
a-
fact that.
Crap,
Go on,
go on.
David. No, okay. I absolutely love the fact that by mechanically representing it, we're using energy in the same way. You value the people who are combative as much as the people who are not in the exact same system. So rather than having to write a custom system for salvage in that regard, by balancing it in that regard, you feel a rounded party. So of course I would spend my energy doing combat, but of course Flea spends theirs doing salvage, and that's where we make that balance. It's really nice to see that baked into a game.
That's why I didn't engage in combat, really. It was just
Yeah.
like, no.
Makes total sense.
well, you both will get paid by Leyline Press, so I'm sure. Just send your invoices out.
I will work for a free copy of this game, or even cheaper, I will work to appear as an NPC.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that costs
So-
them more money because then they need to hire a writer.
No, they don't, because I'm a writer.
So easy enough. So you have completed the meat processing generic factory section of this one shot. So what would you like to do now? So looking at the map itself, it's the lake and then the plaza. But so what's the plan? Where are you going to the other places, or are you thinking time to jack off and go essentially? So
I think
Back off.
yeah, I know.
I
don't
think
you
I was
came out and
going
said
to
something.
pass right over that.
No.
Right over that. I think we can make one more stop.
I think
I
we can
think
go
we've
to the
got the
lake. I
energy
think
to
we
make-
can go for
yeah.
a swim.
I've still got 7 more cargo
Slot-
slots.
Exactly.
I'm good to go.
I've got 11 more energy points to use. I need to
I'm-
do something with them.
Remember, because with salvaging as
Got
well,
to go
it's
home
the
as well.
yeah, you got to get home, but also the ones that can salvage are only ones who have arms, essentially.
Yeah.
So that's the thing with Flea, is that they have obviously the arms to do stuff, and that's totally fine. But at some point, they will run out of energy points to do that. So you can only grab so much stuff unless who else has arms? I think Socrates, you have arms, right?
2.
So yeah, 2. So yeah. So
I'm just going to go for
Cool.
a swim while they're salvaging in the lake.
Yeah, let's push on, get another bit.
going on to the
Yeah.
lake itself. Fantastic.
So to confirm that we know that the next piece will be in the plaza and then the park. Other than that, we've got no anticipation of anything that, other than what would naturally be within the city from this crash. They are our sites of interest.
Um,
That's right.
I'm going to recon that, actually. Sorry, this
Okay.
whole there seems to be things in each area. I will say that.
Right.
Sorry, that's my fault. I just
Yeah, no
I
problem.
mistook the arrows on the map. I think there's a ways into the place, and I just assumed.
Got you.
That is my
okay.
fault there. There is something interesting in each of these places. So
Okay.
you could easily just go, actually, we're going to make our way to the plaza, and stuff will happen in the lake,
In the
for
lake.
example. But you know, it's that sort of thing that it could happen. I'll say that for the rules.
From what you said, the largest point then was in the plaza. The largest section of the crash was in the plaza. Is that correct?
Let me double check. So
Just wondering if it's a good idea for us to rush now, given the fact that we're beginning to load up and also drain ourselves before we have to go through the mountain pass and or the heat desert death again.
Yeah.
We yeah.
Smash
Yeah.
and grab.
So,
run into the center, grab the biggest thing, run out.
So I would say actually that the biggest thing would actually be in the park, not the plaza.
Okay.
Again, looking down on the parts of the topographic sort of thing, you can see there's a big, almost like scar through various bits of trees that have been left there. But you can't tell exactly what it is, because you might have to go there and find out what it is. But all of these areas are open for you to go.
Shall we push? Should we push rapidly to the park then, or should we go to as far as the plaza, then about face and?
I say we go to the plaza, stop over at the park, and then head on out the other side.
Yep, works for me as well.
Seems
then.
best to me.
Okay.
Head on out to the other side.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, who is leading the way? What is the plan? Again, the city itself is in ruins, but obviously you can't really go through building after building after building like Commodore has just done for this meat packing factory, because you'll make a lot of noise and stuff. So you might have to use
Some
the
buildings
streets a
might
little
fall on
bit.
our heads.
Well, that too, as well. So what is, I guess, the marching order or order of things? I'd say you can't really go side by side at this one. You have to go in between until you get to the big open spaces.
I'll go first because I
was going to say, do you want me to
combatively
scout ahead?
speaking-
I'm the light, quicker one. I know it's a not a real thing, but as a visual concept,
Yeah.
my
I was-
comms range is further than everyone else's, so I can actually talk to you from further away.
Okay.
Okay, so Blackjack, go. Sorry.
I'll take the back. I've got a big gun
Yeah.
and I can take a lot of hits.
Yeah, having
Yeah.
having you actually on the back in case we get ambushed from the back is actually a really good idea because it means it gives us the longest amount of time to deal with any problems
Yeah.
before someone's at
Exactly.
risk.
I'm also
And I'm-
very good at far away. I shoot from far away, so
And yeah, I need protecting. I've got a short range laser which doesn't use energy, but that's it.
Yeah,
Cool. So, all right. So I believe marching order is Blackjack, Socrates, Flea, and then Commodore.
correct.
Fabulous.
mhm.
Also, if
Excellent.
anybody does attack us, I can just feign death and go, no, I'm already dead. Leave me alone.
I got X's on eyes. Like, no.
Because no one in this world confirms kills.
No.
No, of course
Well,
not.
but
They
there
might
is,
try and scavenge me, so I need you to come up pretty quickly.
who knows? Maybe we'll do a death kill at some point.
Yeah, I'm
that'll be
gonna need
quite
I'm gonna need a double tap module.
Oh man. All right, so you're making your way to the plaza. You know what? That is a very good point. Let's have a break before they make it to the plaza and onto the park. Thank you so much. We'll be back in 5.
Oh yeah, I need to do things for that, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
I'm the
Thanks,
tech man.
hacker. But yes, we'll join us back in 5
Wow.
and we'll see what's in the plaza.
See you
See you in a
soon.
bit.
And we're back. Thank you for continuing to stay with us and for joining us. So, as we've seen, our ragtag team of mech pilots have easily defeated some outlaws, saved a caravan, and frightened a group of wastelanders who were just trying to hide. But they have got some salvage. They've got the engine to the ship that has sort of crashed itself over the city of Hope Falls. They are now making their way to the big plaza, essentially. But to do so, they have to go past this lake area. And you can see, as you sort of trousing all the way through, I think almost like it opens up onto one side where you can see this lake, but you're easily able to get past it. But looking at it itself, the lake itself is almost like a horrid tar black again. Decades of being out into the radiated desert, you can see there's various sort of plops of bubbles and stuff like that. But at the center of it, you can see there looks to be like another bit of salvage from the ship. It's sort of like out of it, it sort of pokes out about maybe a foot or two with a sort of green glowing light on it that's slowly blinking into being. But what you can see is at the corners of this lake itself, you can see another group of wastelanders and another mech itself, which is slowly starting to wade its way into the waters to try and retrieve this salvage. Looking at them, they all seem to have some sort of uniform of some sort, and they've got various sort of numbers on the back of them. And they see you, but they're too busy, but they're not doing anything. Like, look, they're keeping an eye on you essentially, but they're going towards whatever this salvaged part is. What would you like to do?
Can we make them pick it up and bring it to us?
Yeah, are they corpo uniforms?
They are not corpo uniforms. It's a sort of a sort of a mishmash of sort of blue overalls essentially, but they're definitely not corpo at all. There's definitely I'd say there's about maybe 15, 20 of them, and so they're all sort of there, and with the big mech as well.
There's only
with two
one
arms.
mech.
One mech, yes.
I say
I
we
would
move
Trojan
on.
it.
I say we move on.
No,
I say we walk.
I say we- yeah, like they're doing nothing
Leave them
wrong.
to it.
Yeah, leave them to it. Like,
I was gonna make them bring. I was gonna take control of the mech, and it would just think it's picking it up, but then it would just bring it to us, drop it off, no fight, and we just leave that way.
no, I'd say we just leave them completely alone and move on beyond it. Anyway,
If they
worst
were
case,
corpos, I'd agree.
yeah,
But if they're just other salvages, they were there first.
salvage claim. Whoever got here first. Plus, technically, by the laws of nautical salvage, it's been in water, which
It
means
has
they
been in
get
water.
first dibs.
Good shout. How many waves from land? Fiona, how many waves from land is it, please? Can we?
Yeah, sure. It's definitely 3 big movements through the water essentially.
It's good enough. It's good enough.
So it's international waters, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes, of Hope Falls. Yes.
Hey, when there are no more nations, every water is international water.
That means there are no laws. That means salvage rights don't apply.
So you're leaving these wastelands.
I think we leave them.
Yeah.
We're
Be
running out of
nice.
It's just
We already had
you're
chat say, "Are we
wasting
the bad
good
guys
salvage
once
money
today?"
here, people.
Easy enough. So you continue along your way, and as you do so, sort of turn a corner, you can see there are 2 other smaller mechs. These ones look very, very scrappy, so again with their sort of lasers pointed at you. So you think you were sort of keeping an eye on to see what you're doing. But could somebody roll for me a d20 to see? Because you didn't interact with these wastelanders. So what did they do?
I'm not touching a
Okay.
dice.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Anyone
Yeah,
but
come on,
Blackjack.
yeah.
Yeah, go for it, Commodore.
17.
Hey, nice.
That's my best roll yet.
Yeah, and you wasted
Not
it on
even
some
for us. God damn.
NPCs.
Ah!
Did we waste it, or were we part of the ecosystem?
By not interfering,
Aw.
they succeeded on taking out what was in the lake. So there you go. And so that is that.
There
But
we go.
you move on through the city itself, and you
I
make
give them
it-
a honk on the way past, just as a sort of acknowledgement.
Mhm.
Okay, we've just been reminded that possession is 9/10 of the law, but a railgun is the final 1/10. So yeah, we had a
We're the
railgun,
bad
everybody.
guys. Amazing. Okay. You hear on the static on your comms module, Commodore. You hear a thank you kindly. Good day. Fantastic. So you slowly but surely make your way into the central plaza, and here you can see it is wide open. There used to be like a very small manicured sort of park, perhaps, but obviously at this point it's all been sort of taken over by I'd say like a cargo bit of some sort. Basically, it's just shoved into the ground. Bits of trees and stuff are everywhere, but the main thing that you see is there are 2 mechs here next to this cargo thing. These ones you do recognize. They definitely have corpo logos on them. And as you sort of make your way into this plaza, probably fan out a little bit so you're not all in a line behind each other, looking very imposing. You see, let me just find it. That is, how many of those are there? You have 2 sort of bigger sort of mechs per se. One of them has what looks like almost like a dragon tattoo over one of the sort of windshield sort of thing, looking very, very cool. And the other one has what looks like on one side of it, like over like not the eyebrow of the mech, but looks like just essentially like a set of muscles looking super strong, like sort of crouched up like this. And across you and behind them you have and then two other sort of smaller sort of mechs behind them who look like they're again on lookout, but we're looking out on the opposite way in case things were coming in. So you have 4 mechs in total, 2 sort of more bigger, heftier ones that are examining and analyzing whatever this cargo thing is, and 2 smaller ones at the
Are
back.
they
Can I,
different
before
corp
we
to us?
even go into any combat and think about this, I want to hack them and pick up their systems and find out who they are and what they're doing.
Okay.
I'm going to do some information gathering.
Perfect. Well, you do that in a second. So Socrates, you do recognize them. They it says corpo on their sort of things, and you know that they are from the Eventist Industries, essentially. So you do get that. But Blackjack, you are more than welcome to do your information gathering. So
Yeah, I want to basically know what they're doing, what information they're gathering from this. So, it's actually Blackjack's ability, but I can use it through Mantis. So I can spend energy points instead of action points, ability points to do this.
Fabulous. Yeah,
it's called Database Hacker. As an action, you are able to hack into a database or information system in close range. How far away are they?
Yeah, I'd say you're within close range. You've just come into this. There's 4 of you, and it's it's a big plaza space, but there's now 8 mechs in it, so you're all within very close distance to each other.
It's a little bit crowded.
Yeah.
I can gain specific information about it and the wider network it is connected to.
Okay.
When activated, you may ask 3 questions about it, and the mediator will tell you true answers.
Right. So so spend the points, whichever ones from that. Which ones are you spending?
I am going to spend. I don't want to get out my mech. There's people here, and there's
You're
lots
shouting across like, "Who are you?
Screw that.
What do you do?" Yeah.
I've got to go and touch them. He's like, no, I'm going to do this through the computer. I'm going to spend my energy points because I've got a lot of those.
Yep.
So I've not even spent half of them yet, so that's good.
Good. It's not like there's a big fight coming up or anything.
No, it's fine. It's all good.
Nah.
This is why I want to find everything out and find the weak
close
points
as possible as well before it all kicks off, just because I want to use one of my new toys.
Perfect. We'll get to you in a second, hopefully, but that's totally cool.
Yeah.
All right. So what's what?
It doesn't say any dice rolling or anything. So do you want me to roll the d20?
If there's no dice rolling, I think because you spend the points for it, it just happens. That's what I believe that happens in Quest. I'm sure the chat will prove me wrong if not, but I just think rule of cool, and we've only got a bit of short time. So what are the questions you want to ask? It's 3 questions, was that?
It was 3 questions.
And they have to be truthful.
Yes, you have to answer them truthfully. This is not Trojan.
This is my truthful face.
It's not well, actually.
No,
You don't
okay,
get-
so what's your first question?
So we know that they're corpo, yeah?
Yeah, it's fairly obvious with the sort of insignia emblazoned on their mech.
So, what? Let me phrase this well. What is it? What information do they have about the salvage thing that they're analyzing?
Okay, so you tap into the database and you're like sort of matrix style, I'm in, and you get the code coming up, and you can see that the team itself are looking into the crash of the ship, and you can see that their mission currently is to retrieve active meld nanites. That is the sort of current goal. It's flashing at the top of their screen.
Active meld nanites.
Yeah, nanites even, sorry.
Nits, as in they're literally just like it's robotic nits that crawl around in your head and make
Sure.
Nanites, as in the small microcomputers that enable certain.
No.
reactions.
Fiona said nits.
Yes,
they're
yes to
little
both.
head lice, robotic head lice.
It's my world. Yes, it is. It is active meld nits, essentially. Nanits. Yeah, that's what I said.
I was going to say, are they useful? Next one, are they useful?
Is that your second question? My truthful face.
Have they got their weapons armed?
Yeah, no. I'm just trying to think of ways to phrase this to get as much information out of one question as possible, basically.
We do like a who's in charge versus
No,
who do we have to beat up to?
Who? Yeah,
get
who
the
would be
rest
the
of them to surrender?
who has the most damaging weapons?
Ooh. Ooh, interesting. Let me look at my notes.
Basically, who am I gonna send Socrates after first?
Sounds good. So yeah, again, I'm in, and you can see it sort of flashes up, and the two smaller mechs at the side, they're definitely more support, perhaps. So they're on lookout, although they're turning around to sort of aim towards you. And so the two sort of slightly bigger mechs, there's one that had like almost sort of like a dragon over its eye, but the more impressing fact is that you see this one which comes up on your screen as the gladiator. It definitely looks like it's armed to the teeth. It's got at least it's got a very similar weapon pattern to what Commodore has.
Okay. And question number 3. Because I can't. There's things I want to do to it, but this is actually asking questions, not actually doing things to it.
Can Blackjack ask for things like access codes that would make something like their Trojan easier to use on it?
No, because that's I would. The way I would say this is the way that the game works is you don't get any bonuses to your dice rolls, so that wouldn't make any difference.
It's more information about stuff.
Yeah.
So.
You ask them which one wants to die first.
Yeah, Gladiator needs to die first.
Well, we know that.
No, which one wants to die first is a different question.
Which one has
a? Are there any reinforcements around that we can't see?
Ooh, that's a great question. Great question. Again, tapping into the thing, finding the last bit before your sort of signal goes out. It looks like no. It looks like this was their salvage force that's just been sent out, but you are aware that they could call for backup, but it doesn't seem to be any within the vicinity around you.
Right.
So yeah.
Does anyone have jamming capabilities in our group?
I'll check that maybe.
So just before we go into anything else, Flea, you said you were moving.
I'm trying to get as close as possible to it on the guise of sort of looking very unassuming. I want to get as close as I can to probably the dragon one, the most threatening looking one. Just as a kind of I'm just passing by. I'm a little salvage mech. Don't worry about me. Kind of thing, just like do. My fake hand is like going, but the robot hand is like going.
Peeling the dragon vinyl off this.
Yeah. Yoink! Put that over there. It makes me go faster. I love that.
No, we don't apply orc logic to this game.
I'm fully being as unassuming as possible as I approach.
Fantastic.
And I surreptitiously communicate to Commodore and Socrates. You go, get the one with the fucking muscles on it first before it blows us up.
Flea, as you're sort of making your way, all of your transmissions and communication modules spring into life, and you hear, hello there, this is Sergeant Baines of the retrieval team. We are here to take care of Salvage. We see that you may be here for some bits of yourself. We would like you to move on your way. Please retreat, and we won't. This doesn't have to end in violence. Thank you. End of transmission.
Sorry, my robot. I lost some bits on Mantis. I can't retreat. It doesn't have the ability to go backwards. Someone took my fan, and it's just kind of ruined everything. I can't go backwards. I'm going to have to go through. Is that okay?
There's a pause.
Tell me,
pregnant pause.
Sergeant, what side of the Colonial War did you fight on?
Repeat of message. We are here to retrieve bits of our ship that has fallen on the city. Your presence here has been noted. You have until 5, the count of 5. Otherwise, we will open fire.
Presence has been noted. It doesn't necessarily mean they've sent off call signs or anything like that yet. Are we doing this?
I've already told you which ones to hit, so fucking shoot it.
I'm asking the group. I'm not going to just start opening up, because if I choose to open up, I'm going to take my stims and then open up, because then you'll get to see how much damage the soldier can potentially really do. But I want to know if we're doing this, because if I do this, I only have 2 action points left. That's it. So
Well,
if
you
we're doing
take
this,
him
let me
out.
know.
If you two can take him out, I can try and maybe control another one to take out some of the smaller ones. I don't know. But yeah, we're doing it. 'Cause
Okay, right. We're doing this.
let's
We're
do
doing
it.
this. Fiona, I'm going to sort of seeing this and noting that the sergeant didn't answer my question, because I imagine that Brawler expressly has, like, a flag of one of the colonial powers, spray painted onto like the shoulder part.
Oh, yeah.
Noting that the sergeant expressly didn't, and then actually made a very open threat about this situation. Socrates sort of flicks a switch, and the entire cabin just pressurizes and mists as I pump my stims. So I'm going to roll. It cost me 2 action points.
Yep.
I'm going to roll a d20.
Yep.
So I got a 15, which means for the next 10 minutes,
Yep.
I act twice in a turn.
What? Okay.
If I'd got a 20, I would have been acting 3 times a turn
Wow.
for the next 10 minutes.
Fab. All right, so it
Let's
sounds
do
like
this.
it's go time then. All right, so it is time for combat. Narratively, I am going to pick Socrates to go first, because you sort of have done the initiate action. So you can do, according to your stims, you can do 2 actions or act twice, and a move as well. So what would you like to do?
Oh, I am going to immediately, as a free action, I'm going to pop my pinpoint targeter.
You don't
can
have
you do
enough energy
multiple-
points for that.
I have enough energy points for this. I have enough to do these things. I have currently got spent 1 energy point.
Oh yeah, so yes, your action points you don't have. Sorry.
Yeah,
It's
my
an
action
action
points
points,
I don't. Yeah. But it doesn't take my action points to do this in my mech, because it says the effects will apply to my mech, but not that I can use energy points to do so if it does. So I will. Can I take multiple free actions in a turn? Is what I need to know.
For the sake of it, sure, why not? We're trying this new system for the first time, so let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm going to pop my pinpoint targeter and my multi-targeting. And if I was to combo those, multi-targeting lets me make an attack with each of my things that are appropriate. And pinpoint targeting means that I get to target specific systems or modules on a mech or appendage on a creature, roll to hit if normal, and if I hit, that appendage is destroyed on top of damage being dealt as normal.
Okay.
So if I'm comboing these correctly, I would get to make 3 attacks targeting 3 systems, dealing damage as normal, but also potentially destroying 3 systems. So I would like to target the weapons system on Gladiator.
Yep.
I will fire my missile pod, because there's one next to him as well, which is a big beefy guy as well, I believe.
Yep, the sort of wyvern. Yep.
And then I will shoot a system with my auto cannon. I will move up to engage with my anthropomorphic arms, and then I will try and pull a 3rd one off potentially, basically.
Great. Let's take it all in one go. So
waiting for your second action.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna. I can do this twice.
Great. Do it. Right. So, go on.
It costs you for each weapon you fire. It costs you 1 for
1
multi-tracking.
energy point per weapon fired. Yeah. So I've got enough to do this, and then I can do my normal attacks. So.
All right. Do it. Then.
Yeah. So let's see.
You could fire your
Roll
ejector
first.
seat as well, just for the fun of it.
I'm out of
I'm
here.
coming for you!
So it's a 10 on the missile pod.
Okay, that is a tough choice.
Yeah.
Cool. But you do hit though. So what's the damage? And I'll give you the tough.
There's 3 points of damage to the person I targeted. If I hit, the system is destroyed.
Okay.
And the damage is dealt, and I deal 1 additional point of damage to the person next to him, which is the wyvern.
Yep.
And then the tough choice you'd like me to make?
Yes. Give me a second. Sorry, I'm just making notes. There you go. The wyvern takes that damage. Yeah. Tough choice. I will. Where's it gone? It's like page 56, I think it is. Consequences. There we go. Ooh. I love that. Obviously, there's different tables for different things or different choices of things. I love how their environment shifts and it says as a disease begins to spread. Ooh, you get shingles in your mech.
I think it's a depleted uranium.
Oh no! Very true.
Oh, that should not have fallen out.
Yeah, oh god, that arm wasn't there a minute ago.
Oh.
Okay, the tough choice is that one of your weapons jams, as you've just gone essentially, or that you hit the sort of the cargo that is damaging it, because you're damaging the 2 mechs next to it that sort of were analyzing this cargo, but you could damage this cargo.
What's the impact of jamming my missile pods? Is that going to be jammed in operational for 10 minutes?
It will be till the next turn.
Okay,
that's a tough choice I'm doing.
I'll jam the missile pod for now then.
Fantastic, great. So you just all sort of goes off, and then you're like, oh god damn it. So
also cannon.
Yep.
That is a 15.
Is a success.
And then moving forward up, anthropomorphic arms.
So who are you hitting with the cannon?
All 3 are going on gladiator because that was the one we identified was the nastiest system, and I'm destroying their weapon systems with each of these.
Fantastic.
It has a railgun, I'm guessing.
Maybe. Go on.
That's actually what it had.
So it took that damage as well. Yep.
Yeah. And then
so it's just taken 6 points of damage, and it's
still standing.
Cool. 6 points damage, and then anthropomorphic arms.
Okay.
That is. I wish this was on something different, but it's still on this one.
Oh, you've lost the kitty.
That is a natural. Come on, you slime.
20.
1,
it's a natural 1.
Natural 9.
Natural
13.
17.
Let's keep guessing.
Can we see that?
No. What is it, Ben?
It's a natural 20.
Fantastic. So describe
devil's own luck.
So describe what the mech does to sort of like deal this damage.
I think it's this moment of like I think this name means something to Socrates. I think because it was Sergeant something, wasn't it?
Sergeant Baines.
I think
is he the bane of your existence?
I think it's a flashback moment to Socrates, or face bloodied, jaw ruined. They're crawling out of their mech as on the opposite side of these colonial wars, this force, like that mech blare that they do just goes out, and there's like a flash of cannonade fire from all these this massive war zone, and this shattered radio that's barely working is on the enemy frequency, and it's just going Sergeant Baines to base, Sergeant Baines to base, and flash back to the moment, and I'm running on stims right now, so I'm like at 11. I'm wrathful. Everything has gone from Socrates' mind, all peace, all ease, and it's just charging forward. The missiles, fire out. I see the jam thing, slam the fist into it, and as I slam the fist, the gun immediately goes off from the position in, smashing through one of the weapon systems. But the gun is no longer even in Socrates' mind. It mag connects to the leg as Socrates runs and just dives onto Gladiator, and he's just pulling parts of it off. There's no punching, there's no tactic to this. It's literally foot on an arm and a yank as the entire arm wielding whatever comes off.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a frantic sort of like in and out sort of thing, and you manage to topple over this mech, and you're just starting pulling bits out, and everyone else can see that the escape hatch opens, and a very beaten, battered, bloodied sort of Sergeant Baines is crawling out. You can see one of his legs is indeed broken as he sort of makes his way and tries to duck behind some of the rubble in the thing. But you have defeated the Gladiator mech.
And then I will turn on the Wyvern one, and again these arms, and just this entire time, the comm system is open. I don't really have like a blaring horn style thing like Commodore, but you can just hear screaming, just this rage-filled screaming.
Flee. Get him off again. He's done it again. Just grab and pull him away. He'll calm down eventually.
Okay. And that's a 12 for the arms
success
on the next one.
And how much damage is that?
So that's another 3 points of
3
structural
points.
damage to it.
So yeah, you go in, and it goes turn it, and the wyvern is sort of, it brings up its arms to try and stop it, and you're sort of digging into it. It's still standing, but it's taken a bit of a hit. Who would you like to go next?
Commodore.
Commodore, it's your turn, my friend. So you've seen this gladiator just been taken down. The wyvern is sort of locked, sort of toe-to-toe, mech speaking with Socrates, and you see the two other smaller mechs rounding round, and this cargo in the middle of it. What would you like to do, Commodore?
I have an ability to potentially end this straight away,
Do it.
depending on how we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
This is my move that's called Let's Make a Deal.
Excellent.
You make a deal with a group of local traders, corpos, or anyone else willing. This lets you make an engagement with them. This could be for aid, healing, use of their facilities, or anything appropriate. You must give them something of real value to you as part of the deal, such as salvage or significant help.
Okay.
And I'm just
To you or to
sort of,
them?
I'm just gonna open the comms channel and being like, "Oh yeah, sorry, he gets like this sometimes, but don't worry about it, honey bun. We can pull him off if we feel inclined to. But it's just that perhaps if you would want to give us what is it, nanets, I think, just from a glance from what I've heard, we can go and grab our mate, stop him from brutally murdering all of you, and then we get what we want, which is the salvage, and you get what you want, which is being alive.
I love it. I also like the fact that you could use their facilities as if just, could I possibly use your bathroom? Brilliant. So what points do you have to spend for that?
One action point.
All right, one ability point. So yes, if you spend that for me, and I will ask you to make a roll for this.
Okay.
So other things happening, even though you do that, and we can go from that, but there is some more to this.
But a 6, another 6.
Cool,
Rolling
good to
a lot of
know.
dice.
Push yourself.
Push yourself. Yeah.
Push yourself.
Push yourself before you wreck yourself. Yes.
Let's push myself.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That's it. So you're pushing it's your pilot, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's the ability. So you add 2 stress to yourself, but we'll roll the push first, see what you get.
17.
17. So that is a success. So we'll add the 2 stress to you, and then we'll roll for the stress.
Yeah,
So-
I'll probably just say the stressful thing is probably like Socrates getting like this, right? Like
a constant.
Just the constant scream in your ear
he's going
from
to
the
kill them
comm.
all.
I'm
Yeah.
used to you can mute the comms is one thing, but it's just like this is the
Socrates,
guy who was-
Socrates is louder than the comms, right? You turn off the comm, it's still there.
wow. Is the stress thing just another
It's just
D20?
another D20, and you got to, if you roll equal to or under, bad things happen.
Cool.
Yeah,
I have
don't get a
2. I rolled a 1.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
well, that's
can you
exciting.
push the stress roll?
No, you can only push once per turn.
But if you roll,
Uh,
if you roll a 20, you get into a flow state. So just roll a 20. Come on.
Yeah. So
Easy.
easy enough. So so you say what you want to say, and you're doing sort of like okay. You push yourself, and you can hear sort of like, okay, we'll just, but it's getting over the stuff, and you are getting so stressed out because once again Socrates has just gone in guns blazing, and you sort of like and you go into a catatonic unresponsive state, unable to move or take any actions. You regain your composure in about 10 minutes, and your stress will reduce to 0. So currently you're just like you're just like indecisive because you said this thing, and now you're like, but I don't know if I can stop him, all that sort of thing. So all that's going around in your head just now. With that, Commodore, who is going in next? Is it going to be one of the mechs, or is it going to be one of your friends?
Seeing a lot of pointy, wavy hands.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm gonna.
I think
So
they're all
definitely
pointing at
enemies.
Fiona.
Let's pass it over to Flea.
All right,
Thanks.
Flea, what are you
My-
doing, my friend?
My finger's going to slip, and I'm going to accidentally mining laser the guy who crawled out the hatch.
Thank you.
Do you want to describe what a mining like? So you're doing that.
So it's a
you're hitting-
pulse laser. It's a laser battery designed to fire rapid series of pulses at target to break up rocks. But because I'm using a mech weapon on a person, it
Yep.
does double the
double damage.
Because so yeah,
Let's hope you hit.
I'm just like, oh, what's that? And then knock a switch.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that. And I love the fact 12. So that is a success.
Yeah.
So what's the damage for that?
3 double to 6. Is that enough to smear him?
It is. I mean, he is looking blooded, and he sort of like rolls out the way very slowly. But you definitely get in. You hear a horrible sort of Wilhelm scream of again in a cinematic moment. He sort of gets up, and then half his face is sort of blackened and smoked, and the hair from one end does not look very cool anymore.
So is he gone? Is he done?
No, he's still up.
I'm going to push it then because I want to finish him off. So I'm going to push myself to re-roll because I want to get higher.
Oh my god!
He was also at the Battle of Haven's Ridge.
Yeah, I've got a 19.
A 19. That is a success still.
Does that add to damage?
No, because I think because you had a 15 before, right?
No, 12 before.
A 12 before, so it's in the same range because 11 to 19 is
You need
the
a
same.
20 to double.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Not quite.
But you know what? I love the fact that you were like, yeah, fuck it, why not?
You know what? Can I just shoot off his other leg?
Yeah,
Yeah, just do that.
For Flays, yeah, I think with that damage, it's easy enough to do that. But I mean, they're still sort of like army crawling to.
Are they crawling away still? Are they literally walking away?
Yeah, yes, you do. Yes.
So they're not dead yet.
15, you're fine. They're not dead yet. They were. So this is the thing. Obviously, pilots have full health. So even though that you destroyed the mech, they because they rolled all right.
Yeah.
They managed to get out of the mech with a broken bone is what they rolled. So they're busy trying to get over, but they were still at sort of full health per se. They were injured.
And then my laser, you know what it's like. Gets a bit of dust in the firing mechanism. It just goes off.
For those of you who have read this, I've just run out of bubble gum.
So it's my go to pick, right? I'm going to pass it to Blackjack, I think.
Do it. Yeah.
Oh, we're doing this. We're going for full.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's like I've run out of bubble gum.
Yeah.
I'm not very useful at doing anything else. I'm going to jump out.
Yep.
I'm just going to walk over to him. It's like, you see this boat? I was saving the bubble gum to fix something, but you've made me spit it out in anger, mate. And I'm just going to kick him in the head with my metal foot. Like, you have just really annoyed me because I cannot stop him from fucking screaming, and it ruins my new shiny beatbox. What are they called? Fucking Beats headsets. Damn you!
You're already more branding on this show. We had Apple, we had HP, now we've got Beats.
Sponsor us.
All right, please.
Sponsor us, and we'll all write for Leyline, and we'll get you all loads of money for it.
I don't know these people. I can't make any of those guarantees.
Servo foot. I've got to be engaged. It only does 2 damage, but
2
I just
damage.
want to kick him in the head.
But, what did you roll though?
I'm about to roll.
Oh, okay, go for it.
I rolled a 13. Now, do I push this?
Up to you, because obviously it's you're within the 11
No,
to 19.
I'm not going to push it. I'm going to see if I squish his head first.
Okay, so it's just 2 damage.
Yep.
Okay, so you go, and there's a horrible scream as you sort of kick him in the ribs, and something definitely breaks. But he is still up. It's slowly but surely. It's like
I'm pushing myself. Will you just fucking die?
Take the
Remember, if you're pushing yourself before you roll, you've got to get a 20 before you can actually do any more damage with it.
Yeah.
Pushing yourself doesn't let you just do more damage with it.
No, I'm still doing it. I don't care.
You know what? I think we are the bad guys.
No. Right?
No.
We are
fine
war
with.
heroes.
These are corpo bastards who've made this world. They've committed bigger crimes than this.
So what did you? So David, are you pushing the roll?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
What
So
did you
So I've done the first roll,
Yes.
and I'm going to push myself to try and attack again.
Yep. So that's so you roll the d20 again.
Yeah, and I
you
rolled a
go,
6.
Oh, I'll take that damage back. So you go to kick and you accidentally kick a rock instead, and you hurt your own foot.
No. I'm using my metal foot.
Okay.
So my metal foot I miss him. It hits the rock, and it gets stuck between two rocks, and I'm now just like going fucking just. Fuck you, Socrates!
I love that. I love that as a consequence for you. So you are now currently stuck as this person is trying to desperately get away from you. It's now my turn.
You get all 3
Quite a lot
of
of
your
turns.
goes.
Yeah, I'm now dead.
Ooh. I think Blackjack would feel this first, but all of you would realize that the ground itself is starting to rumble. And you look across, again, the cinematic style Blackjack, up at the cargo, and you can see there was a crack in it starting to widen, bigger bigger, and then suddenly out of it appears a ginormous mech. But it is covered in something, this horrible sort of like silvery sort of metal that's overshotting it, and it looks like it is acting on its own. And oh yes,
Those
the
fucking
nanites
nits get everywhere.
have woken up. So on this behemoth nanites go.
It's definitely not using heads and shoulders, this thing.
Oh, it is. Well, it's a 2-in-1. So
We have reverse gears on our mechs, don't we?
I'm
sure.
catatonic. I'm catatonic for the next 10 minutes. I can't do anything.
Commodore's out of commission for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And so are you really, Socrates, as you've just gone completely haywire.
Is this guy's uniform still intact and wearable?
I mean,
His jacket might be.
blazing off his leg.
Yeah, shorts. Summer uniform.
Were we
Alright,
meant
so-
to survive this by any chance?
God.
I mean, you took out some distractions. So this sort of meld behemoth sort of appears out, and if mechs could roar, this one does, like this whole.
Oh my God.
And
Titan horns.
instead
That's
of
a tight sound system, mate.
yeah,
I
the
can
bass
improve
of
it for
comes
you if
through.
you want, if you don't kill me.
The arms itself, they're not arms anymore, they're almost like tendrils, this horrible sort of silvery nanite sort of thing going up and down, and it goes and it's going to make 4 attacks. So let's see, it's gonna attack the other wyvern. See how that goes. That's a 19, so that's gonna hit. That's gonna take out the wyvern. So it just sort of eats through it and
What?
sort of and you see the nanites sort of eat through it, and you just hear again screams from the cabin as the lieutenant in there is slowly sort of destroyed. Although wait, they do have an escape hatch. They got a 19, so they do manage to make it out of the escape hatch and they start running as far as they can. The second attack it will do. So who was I? Oh, Socrates, you were.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, this is fair.
It's pronounced so great.
It is a 14 to hit. So yes, that's a success. You take 3 damage as these sort of tendrils sort of come in close to you,
Okay.
and sort of again on your sort of windscreen, you see like these little, almost like a flood of these little nanites who are going over the screen and stuff, and the glass maybe cracking slightly, but it's safety glass, doesn't crack all the way. It's gonna take an attack on. Oh, there's 2 little things down on the ground. So it's gonna attack the sergeant first. Attack the sergeant first. 16. So yeah, the sergeant's gone. You just see the sergeant screaming. He's like trying to make a way, and then this whole tendril just sort of comes down and just flattens him in front of Blackjack. The tendril rises up.
Thank you. I'm okay. I was trying to
it's
help.
even worse because you're stuck.
Yes.
A 17 hits. So Blackjack, you take 6 points of tendril damage as this whole thing
I'm not dead.
hits on you. No, but it was pretty close. So yes, that is its go, but it's sort of moving around, and again, the way it sort of whirls around as well, the tendrils are sort of all going around it 360 style. I'm going to choose because we've only got we've got the 2 other mechs. They're going to make rolls. 15.
I legit have a really good idea about what to do next turn. Legit a good idea, not a suicidal idea.
So the one that rolled a 15 just goes, nope. Sprints for it. It's like clearly trying to. You can again on the comms. You can hear like, "We need backup. The nanites, they've escaped." As that one sort of goes, and then the natural one, the one's just going to turn around and go, suppressing fire at the nanite.
He's Cyril Figgis is this.
Yeah, pretty much, but misses completely. And as they're sort of shooting, there's something you hear like as their guns jam. That was a failure on their part.
As a rules question,
yes.
are the nanites counted as a system or a module?
Oh, yours. I guess because you're looking at it just now, and when you were sort of doing your sort of research, they have not appeared on your system. You have no idea. This is. And thinking back to the beginning of the scenario, you did hear that there was some experimental new tech which might not be available for salvaging yet.
Oh well. I just had a
but
fun idea,
gonna-
but it's not going to work then.
Top of the turn, I'm not going to be that DM that makes me go again. I'm going to make Rob, because you had no idea. So go for
Okay.
it, Rob.
Got an idea. I am going to swing my salvaging arm
Yes.
in an arc, and I want to pick up Blackjack,
Yep.
pull him,
Yes.
and drop him onto Commodore's mech. because I assume we could pilot each other's mechs, right? They are rolling machines, and I realise that would leave the mantis behind, but it would mean you not dying.
My foot is stuck.
But that will come off.
True, it is a mechanical foot.
Yeah,
so...
exactly. That's what they're there for.
We've got plenty of scrap. We'll make you a bigger foot. Better foot.
With a fan built into it. I'll swing, the arms, basically grab Blackjack by the literally the scruff of the neck, pull him, and then drop him on Commodore's cockpit so he can take control of the Atlas.
Don't roll a 1. Do not roll a 1.
Commodore's dead as well.
Yeah, roll that D12. D12, D20 for me, please. Yeah, I'm changing my rules.
14.
14, that is a success.
Nice.
And you don't get any bad consequence from that, so you don't rip off any leg or anything like that. You just go, whoop, and you're used to this as well. You've been practicing all game, getting the right salvage, and now you're like...
I'm dead good at those fairground games.
Yeah.
What I will say is, when I got hit by the tendril, it knocked me out and it ripped my foot off, which is why there's no issue with it. So I've lost.
I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I just love that idea that you've done this several times before, Flea, getting other players out. Just like, nope, come on.
Yeah.
The floor is my master.
Swing it round onto Commodore and then shout my best Vasquez, Marines, we are leaving, or Hicks, isn't it? Marines, we are leaving, and then start moving.
Fantastic. Easy enough. And yeah, there's no attacks of opportunity or anything like that, so you're easy to get out from that thing. Brilliant. Who would you like to go next?
I'm going to push all of us because I think the faster I think Socrates need to move. You need to move, really.
Yeah. Okay, Socrates, it's your go. So again, you had this creature.
Socrates.
Okay, Socrates, the modern futuristic version of Socrates, a Greek philosopher. Yes, creature, again, that you can see the tendrils are smacking you, your mech in the face, and it is in front of you, but you have an action, or you've got several actions, and you've got movement. What would you like to do?
So first and foremost, don't much like being punched in the face by a tendril. So that tendril's coming off.
Do it.
With my anthropomorphic arm. Well, I say, I'm being narrative. I'm not sure it's actually going to come off. So
you gave
that's a 17.
You've just
17
also given me control of a railgun, Rob.
Yes.
You do what you want with it. I'm leaving now.
17 is a success, so you managed to take that.
3 points of structure. If it has structure, I don't know if it has HP.
It is like this. It is like a construct. It is like a mech underneath it, but it is being maneuvered by these nanites essentially. So it is more aggressive than usual. It is almost like a mind of its own, but it does take the damage. So yeah.
I'm worried that it's just going to pick the arm up and put it back on again.
And then for my next action, I will. Can I just make a D20 roll just to see what mindset Socrates is in right now? Because I feel like Baines is dead, but also I'm hopped up on stims for the next 10 minutes minimum.
Absolutely. So what action? What are the rules and parameters for the just for the viewers at home, just so we know?
I guess what I'm asking the dice gods to tell me how I should act next, because I can't decide whether or not Socrates would go like. Try to distract this thing and keep his team safe, or is lost to the stims. And on that natural one that I just rolled,
wow,
I think I'm gonna take my next swing against it with the arms.
Do it.
So I'll take the 16 to hit again.
Yep.
So that's another.
Takes that out. So you barrel into this thing, and the arms itself, like the tendrils, they drop big sort of almost like piping essentially, that it's sort of picked up and stuff like that, and it is losing its grip, but it is still standing. Again, the horrible nanite more like, and inside its little chair like a tongue like I don't know. But yeah, still standing, but it has taken 2 hefty hits from you. Yeah,
and then I'm gonna push Blackjack, who's inside Commodore. To go, because I know Commodore's out of Commodore's.
Yeah, you would have heard Commodore going, and then just like you can actually
radio silence.
Yeah, radio silence, and you know, Socrates, that Commodore's really mad at you because you went without like a plan, and this has happened before, and you know.
I had a plan. It was to kill Sergeant Baines. I was explicit on this plan.
Yeah, the plan didn't include a nanite behemoth coming out from the ground.
Yeah, no, it did not. So I will push Blackjack, but I know that they are inside Commodore's mech.
Yep.
So I guess push Blackjack and they'll be operating using Commodore's mech, I guess.
I'll say, because obviously again I don't want Viv to be out of the action, so that they can work together on Blackjack's turn.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be fine.
I was going to splash Commodore in the face with liquid to kind of get them around and get them
I'm not
back
sure
into...
that's one that needed the quotes.
Well,
What
I seem to be leaking because I seem to have lost a foot. So...
Okay, we were thinking definitely other liquids. Anyway,
No, I wasn't. No,
Are we?
no. Not that kind of game.
Jeez.
I mean it's almost 10. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Post watershed.
Well, all right. So actually, just to check, is that you at the end of your turn and you're passing it to Blackjack? Just to check.
So yeah, I've done my actions. Did you say there are no attack of opportunities in this?
No, it makes it very simple
Okay,
combat. So,
I
yeah.
will retreat back from this thing to sort of get back towards Commodore, simply by dint of the fact that it will then have to come closer and deal with the two of us, because I had charged forward to deal with the other things anyway.
Fantastic, cool. And Blackjack's next.
Cool. As I say, I will
Yes.
wake up Commodore. You feel a warm trickle over your face of thick, gooey, red stuff. Wakes you up.
Fiona.
It's like,
He knew what
he's
he was
calming down. He's
doing.
calming down now. Shall we shoot that big thing? Because it hurts.
And yeah, Commodore, you won't be able to take any actions this turn again for to rule coolness. But you can see this horrible behemoth with the nanites. Like you sort of snap back. So I guess you and Blackjack can work together on what your mech can do.
Press that button. I point towards a very big red button on the underside of my panel.
Yep.
Boom button.
Can I also do a well actually?
I'm going to say for the sake of this, because of the timing of it, you can only do one action. Like if you're working the ship, I guess it's up to you. Do you want to?
Well, the well
push that
actually is
button?
not an action. It's me knowing shit about things.
Okay.
It's one action point. You are able to answer questions about modules, systems, mechs, or technology.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. You know what? Use your points now.
And then I'll just turn around and press the big red button.
Cool. All right. So what would you like to know?
I need to roll the dice. This is the one where you might get to lie at me.
Oh, great.
Ooh.
Roll low.
No, you don't get to lie at me. I rolled a 13, so I get to
Nice.
ask you 2 questions, and you must answer them truthfully.
Absolutely. Go for it.
How much health does it have left?
Looking at it, you think it's got about half. Like bits of it are falling off, but it's like almost like it's like a sea monster. It's almost like picking itself up but then falling down again.
Is there a way is there a way for me to turn off the nanites?
No, you're looking at it, but just the difficulty of the tech is so new to you. You'd have to properly study it, and you don't have time to do that right now.
Right. So we're gonna have to kill it or run away. Cool. I then press the big red button.
Yep. Okay. So with the big red button, what do we have to do, Commodore? What's the plan?
It's 3 energy points from me.
Yep.
This is my anti-mech mine layer.
Ooh.
Lays a series of anti-mech cluster mines in an area to deny it from the enemy and cause tremendous damage. Choose an area within close range to lay your cluster mines in. Roll the die when triggered.
Fantastic. Easy enough. So you do that, and almost underneath the undercarriage of the Commodore of Smet, and you just essentially just drop a lot of horrible cluster bombs, which probably have some sort of flea sort of message on them all, sort of insignia. Easy enough. And then are you moving away?
Yeah.
Let's run away. Can we move to Mantis so I can get into Mantis?
Yep, I'd say that's easy enough. And I guess on your next turn you can get into it, essentially.
But as we move away, can we also just hurl verbal abuse at it so it comes after us and might walk through the minefield?
But reading the mech mine thing, it doesn't actually have to come to you. It's what you roll determines what happens within the area you've chosen. So there's close, and then there's obviously engaged. It's in close at the moment because we moved back.
Yep.
So you could, if you roll well on this, if you roll a 20, you destroy everything,
in the area. Mhm.
Okay, yeah, let's
and
move
that's-
away and then roll a dice.
Yeah.
Well, it actually you roll the dice when triggered, so it rolls it when it comes over. So I'll put them like in front of us.
Yep.
And then so if it comes towards, then it gets
Yeah.
boomed.
So this
And
is
then-
why I'm saying we want to egg it on, because I want to pass it on to Fiona.
Worth
rather than
remembering,
anybody else.
if it moves on, I will be in the same thing as it.
I'm going to say for the ease of it, like you're all moving, backing away, so you won't get it. It's clear that this has been made for the creature, so I'm not going to get you. I'm not going to do that whole like who's in what combat zone, etc. So yeah, so it
Okay,
would definitely affect the creature. So you're all moving back.
Theatre of the
David-
mind kind of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, David. So what are you shouting at the creature for it to come towards? And yeah, I want to hear what are you saying?
That's not nanites. You're useless. You're the worst tech I've ever seen. I could hack you on a Sunday with a hangover. I'm just not doing it because you're not worth it.
Whoa. Whoa, big words there. I just wanted, I like they're gonna move forward anyway. I just wanted to hear what you were gonna say. So
You're
easy
not
enough.
worth my effort.
Brutal, not worth it, Blackjack. So you hop over onto your mech, and in the next turn you'll be able to get into it and move back.
Yep.
It is now the Mel Behemoth's go.
Yep.
And it is gonna like and sort of move towards you, going over the cluster stuff. So Commodore, please roll your d20.
Come on, hit a 20 now.
If you roll a 1, you have to push it.
Yes.
It's an 11. It's an
11.
11.
Is a
Okay.
success. It is a
We'll take
success.
that. That gives us deal 4 SP damage to everything in the area.
All right. So it is, and it's almost like a flash sort of grenade. It just goes around, and you can see bits of the plaza falling into a sort of a not a crevasse, sort of just a big hole in the ground, a sinkhole essentially, and things like. And you see it's like, and it is barely clinging on. Again, bits of it are just falling off. Like a bit of the leg is sort of like the nanites are still trying to get up on it. It is still standing, and it is now on fire, and it's coming slowly towards you. Yeah. So even then, it didn't quite do it, but it's still coming towards you. I'm aware it is gone 10 o'clock, so I guess we'll just do a quick fire last round. I'm gonna go back to top. I'm gonna give it to Rob. Rob, Flea, what are you doing?
Flea is fleeing. I'm hearing explosions and the crying behind, so I've rescued my friends. It's up to them to extract themselves.
Yep.
I'm gonna move off, and if there's anything cool on the way, I'm gonna pick it up my arm. But I put on the music, put the
Yep.
fan on, and I'm just going now. I'm just like,
Easy enough. You don't need to do a
Yeah.
roll for that. You're just
Cool.
willing to keep on going. Fantastic. Who are you passing on to? In? Yeah.
I will pass it to Commodore.
Commodore. Yeah, you see your cluster bonds have had an effect, but you're like, I mean, it's dicey. You don't know if your next another attack will finish it, or if you need to get out of there.
Oh god, I do have them. Do have this last ability that I haven't used yet,
Ooh.
which is
Do it.
Bulwark. You provoke all nearby enemies to give your allies cover to retreat.
Oh.
If you're in combat, one enemy within long range immediately gets a chance to attack you. You and any willing allies can then safely and expeditiously disengage from a fight and leave the scene.
Oh.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So what do you have to spend for that one?
I spend 2 AP.
Brilliant.
It's no roll, but
Nope.
it does get to attack me.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And so I sort of like, I guess I just sort of throw
Blackjack.
Blackjack sort of out toward Mantis and be like, get the fuck out of here. And then
I can
sort of like
fly!
swerve to sort of just like fill,
Mhm.
to sort of get in front of everyone else and
Mhm.
just fucking go.
Fantastic.
Let's just leave.
Let's just go.
Thank
Leave
you.
the party.
Socrates, you had something then. Saw you. Going.
So if you're using it from your mech, it uses energy points instead. Otherwise,
You
The
can
creature-
use.
yeah, but if you don't, the creature gets to attack you, the pilot.
Mhm.
Because if it's not attacking, it won't attack your vessel. It gets a free attack against you if it's within long range. And mech damage does double damage to pilots.
Mhm. So you can definitely still do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got the health to tank it. I'm just letting you know that it will be health, not your heavy
Oh.
armor.
Yeah.
Then yeah, let's spend those energy points, I suppose.
Brilliant. So it'll attack. If it hits, it will attack your thing. Fantastic. It'll do that now. As you sort of go, you sort of swing away. It sort of reaches out to try to get Blackjack, but it goes for you. It was a 17. So you take 3 structural points damage. As again, the nanites are, like go across your windscreen, almost like a really awful car wash, and it's just, and yeah, pretty bad.
Except one more thing.
Yeah, go for it.
Armor plating. When you are hit by an attack, you may destroy your armor plating and prevent the damage from the hit.
Fantastic. You do that as a
Nice.
reaction, don't you? Fantastic.
Mhm.
Very good. Very good. Very good play. So again, like a car wash, it sort of goes over and you feel nothing. You feel fucking cool that you had that installed last time. Very good. Very good. All right, and then because you've done your action, are you moving away as well, or are you just waiting for everyone else to get out?
So the move says, you and any willing allies can then safely and expeditiously disengage from the fight and leave the scene.
Perfect. Easy enough then.
So I don't know if anyone does want to blow it up, but we have that giving everyone plenty cover to get out the way.
As I'm running away, I
seems
want
like
to blow it
Commodore
up.
sacrifices their own plating, but gets to leave the scene, so they get out.
Exactly. Cool.
I
Alright.
want to try and blow it up on the way out as I'm running away. It took my foot. I'm annoyed about this.
I think the ground took your foot. Anyway, but yeah, Commodore. I'm not one to split hairs over this, but Commodore, who is going next? And you've got Socrates and Blackjack or the big mech itself.
Blackjack.
Cool.
Go on.
I'm
Go
going
on.
to.
Unless, how's the movements been? Is that fair? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend. I've got so many energy points left. This is
Do it.
stupid. So I'm going to spend another 3 energy points. I've spent 10 so far, and I've still got 5 left.
Amazing.
So I'm going to reactor overload it.
Ooh. Okay.
Basically, as an action, you overload the reactor of a target mech within long range. They must roll on the reactor overload table.
Fantastic. Let me get that up so I can see.
As I'm flying through the air, as Commodore has yeeted me out of the combat, I'm like, fine, fuck you. I've got a big red button too.
You finish that final level on Candy Crush, and you're like, boop. Fantastic. All right, rolling on the reactor overload table. That is a 10. So module overload. One of the modules is overloaded and destroyed. Fantastic. Let me look. All right. You can see as you you do that. There's like a spark of electricity that comes from the back, and you can hear it sort of roar in pain. And something just drops off the back of it, like a huge sort of module, essentially. You can't tell what it does, but it definitely seems to have had an impact.
Yeah, and then I'm just going to run away. I'm going to bugger off. Fuck it.
Yeah, easy enough. All right. I will give it over to Socrates next.
Yep.
What would you like to do, Socrates?
I mean, I rolled the 1. I'm in this. So I think looking back to this hangar that split open, by chance do I see like a trail of the nanites connecting this mech to the actual hangar itself?
No, you could see whatever it was. It came out and it's just taken over this huge big mech.
Golden. Okay, then it's gonna be the hands.
Yep.
It's gonna catch these hands.
These hands are also weapons.
Okay, that's a 13 on the first one.
It's a success.
Okay, so that's 3 points of structural damage to it.
Fantastic. So as you do that, before you do your next one, you do that and you just, I don't know, your arms go to it and you just sort of crack it open like an egg.
Okay.
And you hear the things scream. The nanites drop for a second and there's a moment where it's all quiet. And then you can see suddenly there's a reforming, and then out of the ground, 2 smaller constructs of meld come back. So you've broken 1, which has now gone into 2.
Go. Go, leave.
We don't mind leaving him behind, do we? We're okay with coming back with one less.
The brawler who's and they're there sort of looking at you, ready, like almost like a Sentinel style, like Matrix.
How much smaller have they gone to?
I'd say by half the size, but there's 2 of them.
You did roll a 1.
I did roll the 1.
Yeah.
I'm really upset right now, but I feel like I kind of have to. So the missile pod was jammed, but you expressly said that it wasn't. It was only jammed for that
Yep,
round.
exactly.
So for my second action, I think
Yep.
I'm gonna go for sort of like as the one becomes two, just being like, not fair, and just like begins to backpedal, but as it's doing it, just launches a rocket straight at the floor of these things, and it's just running backwards.
Nice, do it. Do it.
Okay, that is a 14, so that's
Success.
a success. Yeah.
Right, what's the damage?
So 3 damage to one of them.
Yep.
You know, dealer's choice which one, and then
Yep.
1 damage to the other one in melee range next to it.
Fantastic. Yeah, so you're like, not fair.
Yeah.
As it sort of goes out and it explodes, and one of them definitely takes the full impact of it, still stands again, bits of it on fire, and then the other one less of an impact, and both of them sort of, again, I don't know how they have mores, but they do, they sort of
Yeah.
and they start going towards you on mech legs and tendrils, still coming towards you, a lot slower pace, but they're still coming towards you.
Yeah, and then use my movement, I'll move backwards and pass on to yourself.
Brilliant. So for ease, you easily, all of you, thanks to Commodore, managed to easily escape the situation, running away from this thing. What I want to know is, are you going straight back to the crawler, or are you going to try and outrun it in other ways? Like, you passed quite a few places. I just want to know, what is the plan?
I'm making a beeline straight for the crawler. Even if these guys don't, I'm striking out on my own to go back.
Fantastic.
I'm basically out of energy, so I need to go back.
Yep, absolutely. You're hot tailing it back. What about the rest of you?
I'm following Flea. I'm going straight home.
Yep. Socrates, Blackjack?
Blackjack?
Just because I've got a crap ton of energy points left, I'm going to follow behind everybody and try and Trojan it as a final do or die. Like, I'm feeling faint. I'm feeling the blood loss from losing the leg. It's pissed me off enough, and I can't hack it. I can't hack the nanites, but I can hack the mech that it's engaged with.
Fantastic.
So
So
I'm going to
describe
try
what
and
this.
Trojan one of the mechs.
So could you read that out for us, because we've not come across that just yet.
Oh, it's what I did when I made the
Of
doggy.
course.
Did the doggy?
You did, yeah, the groveling thing. Great. So I guess roll for it.
Yeah, as long as I don't roll a 1, I'm all right. Because then it takes control of me.
Ooh.
You didn't.
Amazing. Told
Push
you.
yourself. Push yourself.
No,
No.
don't do it. This is more fun.
This is way better.
No, I'm not
You've
pushing
got
myself.
way
I'm letting
better.
this happen.
Oh,
I am
yeah.
letting this happen. I am going to take
Are
a
you-
photo and put it in the chat just to
That's
prove.
amazing.
Are you still on foot, Blackjack?
No, he's
No,
back
I'm in.
Mantis.
Went back in the
Well,
mech.
definitely. I reckon. Though, surely the nanites one's got to do that thing where they go into the mouth and everything. It's like a full-on replication thing.
No, because I'm
absolutely.
hacking.
God.
I'm trying to hack, so it's at a distance. But yeah,
It's going to take control of your mech essentially. So yeah, so you're desperately like you're trying to do it, but you don't pay attention, and one of them sort of not sneaks up on you, because you can't really sneak up on mechs, and you look up and you can just see nanites are getting into your system and changing it, and you can see it's haywire and stuff like that, and it's starting to turn around and it's looking straight towards your friends. You think in the next turn it's going to fire upon your friends.
well, it might do. I only have a laser. But so basically I lose control of my mech for a turn, and the mediator chooses its actions.
Yeah,
But
it's ready
the
up
end
to
of
do
it.
that.
So
Yeah, exactly. And then Socrates, what do you want to do as your sort of
I
final
mean,
act?
seeing it turn on Blackjack, Commodore and Flea are fleeing back to the crawler. I'm not, because I
Yeah.
made a promise.
Yeah.
But to deal with that promise, I have to deal with this thing. So I'm
Mhm.
going to lead it to the tar-like water.
Ooh,
And
excellent.
I'm going to try and basically drown this thing or destroy this thing using the water. So I figure that is, yeah, that how I would spend my last action is ensuring that goes ahead to do this. Most because I've got an image of sort of Socrates sort of brawler dragging these two things down to the bottom, while Socrates sort of leaps out and carrying two children across back to the crawler without Brawler, because Brawler had to take care of this thing.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, again, because again, rule of cool, and it is, getting past, like I said, roll me one last D20 and see how successful this is.
You got a freaking 1, David. You got a freaking 1, okay? Which means that by rule of cool and dice gods,
you get a 1 as well.
This has to be a 20. Okay, I'm gonna push myself.
Excellent. All right. Ben? Well, we're going down.
This doesn't work, Ben. The screen.
Is it
oh,
is that
kind
one?
of.
What's
Slowly coming up to the camera. Is that a 20?
It looks like a 20.
Can anyone?
It's a bloody 20. I don't believe this.
3?
It's fantastic.
I didn't make these rules, but the dice gods chose me for a reason.
Amazing. So
yeah.
Easy enough. Again, a very cool moment. It's like, get out of here. You sort of like, you use your arms, you take both of them, both these mechs, you pull them off Blackjack. Blackjack, you can see these sort of nanits sort of like falling down and stuff like that, but there's not enough of them to sort of control your mech anymore. And everyone could just see Socrates like pulling them towards the lake, this sort of horrible black tar, with the mysterious sort of component now missing from it. And none of the wastelanders there around to see it. And you just see Socrates pulling them in with huge strength and a big sort of, with all the modules and the stim packs and stuff, and you can just see again horrible sort of as the bubbles sort of go up, this horrible mechs again screaming like sort of like dinosaurs in the tar. As he's like, quiet now, quiet. And they sink down, and you deal with that. There's a couple more explosions and stuff, and you can hear in the distance noises coming from the park, noises coming from place. But for now, you all get out of the Hope Falls and make it back to your mech. And that is where we're going to end tonight's one shot of Salvage Union. Thank you so much. Amazing work,
as a point, that dice roll, that was a 1 that went to a 20.
Amazing.
Nice.
Oh my God. Very, very cool.
So that was, yeah.
Hey, that's how the narrative goes. So
brilliant. Thank you very much, Fiona. That was great.
Yeah, thank
you.
Hey, I could not have done it without my wonderful players. And yeah, thank you. Please go support Salvage Union on Kickstarter. Run this scenario in many different ways. Maybe you'd even do it better than I did, because you can. I'm going to go round the players because I'm sure we all have stuff quickly to plug. So please stay to the end so we can do that. I'm going to go in the order we introduce people in. So we're going to start with, I believe it was David first, wasn't it?
I was going to go last because it's my stream.
You know what? Fine. We'll move on to the other side. And Viv, can you say if there's anything to plug, anything like that? Where can we find you, and what are you up to?
You can find me on Twitter at ocean12.w. And you can find the games that I write at genderphage.itch.io.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I will go down to Flea or Rob. What are you up to, my friend? What podcasts are you on? I hear you're on most of them.
I'm on a couple of podcasts. So I'm Rob from the Realm of Fire podcast, which is mainly a Warhammer-based podcast. But I have a couple of episodes on What Am I Rolling at this point, and a Numenera one coming, and an Itrus one to be recorded.
Yep.
So yeah, you'll see me on her one, the much more popular one than mine. But if you want to hear about Warhammer, What Am I Rolling? It's good, isn't it? It's good.
It's all right. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Fiona.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, great. Wonders. Thanks, mate. Going over to Ben, Socrates.
Hello, lovely people. Yeah, so I'm Ben. You can find me on Twitter at Watch Aitken. I'm a professional writer for games, and I currently have a couple of things that are coming out just before Christmas. We have the Tradesfolk Compendium, a collection of subclasses, spells, and various other things. If you want to play someone who actually works for a living in D&D.
What? People have jobs in D&D? That's not how that game works.
That sounds like
lies.
Taxes and admin.
I mean, you say that, but then you've got the College of Clothiers, which is one of the classes that I wrote, who literally are the the fashion designers from the Emperor's New Clothes. You know,
Amazing.
so if you
Yeah.
two want to topple the current system by insulting people's clothes, check out that later this year.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ben. And then over to Blackjack. David, what are we on your stream? What's your podcast
I
about?
wonder whose stream we're on. Whose channel are we going on here?
Oh no.
Okay, yeah, I'm David. I run games on this Twitch every now and then. It's not. We try to do it regularly, but real life gets in the way, so things happen. We played an amazing game of Vesson yesterday, where we told a Winter's Tale, a Winter's Feast. There was a little bit of fun going on in that. We have an Alien game going on at the moment, where Fiona is desperately trying not to die. She had an alien drop on her head, and somehow she survived.
I'm as shocked as you are.
Yeah, that's because I had to roll dice.
What a lad.
I know.
We have a dystopian vampire game going on, which is it's my version of Vampire the Masquerade, and it's very much not Vampire the Masquerade.
I skin werewolves.
Yes, it's a bit of a fun, bit of a laugh. Next year we have a couple of things planned. Ben is going to run stuff. Rob, I'm going to get you to run some more stuff.
First time
Fiona's
he's
obviously
hearing
going to
about
run
it.
some stuff.
Yeah.
Me and Fiona, we've got a few things planned for here and What Am I Rolling, I hope.
Yeah.
Chat is asking, when is the next Alien?
That was meant. Yeah, we were meant to have one last
Hi,
week,
Cat.
but
Cat's my friend. Hi, Cat.
life
So,
got in the way. so.
Yeah, soon as essentially.
Yeah,
I think it was supposed to be last Thursday, and unfortunately things dropped at last minute. I had to go find a PCR test because I had to come back from the States at the last minute.
Yeah,
So
and
follow
James
them,
was ill as well.
Follow their Twitters is the best way to find out about things, I guess.
Yeah, we've also got. What else have we got going on? Nothing else at the moment on here. So we're taking a break over Christmas. Then obviously I'm also the Drunken Storyteller Folklore podcast. Find me there. I'm also part of Darker Days Radio, where we talk about horror-themed RPGs as well. And I'm a freelance writer as well, written for all the Warhammer RPGs and a few other ones as well. So you can find some of my work in those places.
Fantastic.
And that's me.
That is David. Thank you very much. And I will finally finish off the stream by saying hello. I've been your mediator
Hello.
for this
Goodbye,
evening.
isn't it?
Hello. My name is Fiona. I run the What Am I Rolling podcast, which is a twice monthly RPG one-shot podcast. As always, it's going very well. These folks have featured on it a few times. Rob has run stuff for me. Viv has been on it with Bluebeard's Dice, I was going to say. Bluebeard's Bride, as is David. And obviously, I'm sure Ben will have you on at some point once loaded for this.
You can't keep me away.
Exactly. So comment, if you want to try out some new RPG systems, and try it with different players and just have a lot of fun. That's what this podcast is. We've done so many things. We've done Vert recently, thanks to Rob. We've done, like I said, Bluebeard's Bride. We've done some one-page one-shots, the whole range of stuff. So if you ever want to find out, like, what does that RPG sound like and what are the main mechanics, that's the podcast for you. I also run, in case you're like, I hate all other RPG systems. I just want to play with some dungeons and some dragons. Well, I do a lore podcast called the DM's Book Club, where every week we take some D&D lore and go, this is nice. How can we improve it and put it into different RPG campaigns? So you can listen to that as well. So that's What Am I Rolling and the DM's Book Club. And you can find them wherever you listen to podcasts. And just to say thank you so much to Leyline Press, because we've recently had an interview with them, which is now out on the What Am I Rolling website. And thank you so much for everyone that watched tonight. And thank you to Leyline Press for promoting it and stuff. I appreciate, sudden last minute stream. You're like, hey, it's our game. So really appreciate it. And thank you so much. Please go support the game, go join the Discord, have fun, and I don't know, keep meching. There we go. That's what we'll end on. Keep on meching.
Keep on
Thank you so
meching
much.
rather than keep on
Bye.
Bye, folks.
Bye. There's a thing here where I'm just going to keep you all doing this because I've got control of
awkwardly
the thing.
wave.
So I'm gonna- everybody has to
Oh, God
wave for
damn.
hours.
Help! Help!